And there's Jing. There's that Reyna. Anything sticking out to you like a sore thumb here, potentially, Paper Thin, or is everything looking stock standard?
Looks pretty stock standard. I mean, the only question really for me for either of these lineups is if they swap the Sova out for a Sky. That's about the only change you'll ever see made here, and it doesn't look like that's going to be the case. This is their normal Icebox lineups for both of these teams. Again, it's a mirror matchup, so, you've got the Sage and the Viper to make sure you can take control of the site. You've got the Reyna and the Jets for the Ed Trace. The Sova gives you a lot of information and all those good things. So, yeah, and the post-plant stuff as well from the shock darts. So I think this is nothing too surprising at all. This is about as I would have drawn it up on paper.
All right, well, we've seen the maps, we've seen the agents. Ostrano, starting with you, quick, what's your prediction here on this?
2-0. I think it's Paper Rex's game all day, every day.
Paper Thin, you got Paper Rex, or you got Northception here?
I got Paper Rex. I think it's going to be pretty close on Ascent, but I think Icebox, they're going to handle Northception pretty well.
All right, well, we're going to find out. Guys, it's time to kick things off, so we're going to go ahead and throw over to our casters for the game number 1.
Wow. It's been a long week, I would say. It's not a long day. It's actually just the start of it. Anyways, my name is Asarai, guys, and with me now is Ender. We'll be your casters for this first best of 3 series of the day. They were talking a lot about
streaming udah mulai.
On tip-top condition, Northception having such amazing adjustments with the use that they've kind of
Tanya,
LCQ APAC, and I just cannot wait for this match to start because there's so many matchups and so many scenarios that
jadi streamer gue jadi petani lah.
Of who's the better team in those kind of regards.
Yeah, I mean, because it's difficult.
Bangun pagi sekarang udah susah lagi.
Absolutely crushed the competition. They looked so solid that it's really hard to compare the two teams coming into today. Of course, Paper X lost, I think, 3 rounds over the course of 2 separate maps. Northception had a little bit better competition against F4Q, it seemed. Northception was a team that we didn't rate coming into the tournament, but looked so clean, especially on Icebox that we're starting out here on. So I feel like so many questions today. That's going to be the most exciting part because the winner of this match moves on to the upper
yang
oh yeah, and I like to
yang dari channel Valorant ya.
The Icebox map and
Advance slow latency udah.
I remembered from being able to cast VCT Southeast Asia, I always know that Paper Rex loves to be in Icebox specifically because they have so many strategies about it. They just feel so comfortable. But up against a team like
nonton di Buyah bisa dapat
other days where they were just again, I think you also mentioned it or described it as very controlled. They weren't just rushing into the sites. They were trying to get as much information as possible and working off of that. This is kind of
jutaan rupiah. Nih, gue kasih linknya anjing. Gue udah
a better team in this particular map will probably
clickbait banget nih.
Super generic way of saying it, but I really feel it, especially here in
Udah di Buyah nggak bisa nurunin reso, gak bisa dong. Kenapa tidak?
Nonton di channel Kailu ada orang dalam.
Already, things are looking very different for Paper X. They are not playing inside at all. They've got 3 players kind of trying to creep up mid, see if they could find a contact there and get anything done in North.
Mulai.
Mentioning some of the patients we saw.
Lu menit berapa? Menit berapa lu?
Instead, they backed it up just a little bit.
107, 106, 105.
Suara gamenya nggak sinkron nggak sih?
Iya. Ya lagi dong.
Ya anjing, another error.
Lawan tim Jepang, iya.
Ada error guys.
Error lagi suaranya, gengs.
Wih, Seldam nih.
Tuh udah ada nih. Udah di hit ya anjing, dia belum mati.
Udah ada suaranya.
Oh my god.
Guys, soalnya telat guys. Anjing. Suaranya kecepatan.
A really unconventional round as well. Northception definitely did not expect 2-3 people working up mid up against them, and ultimately Paper X do take the round. I love that they're showing us different looks, especially on the defensive side.
Karena Roblox ieu, mendingan gua ya
versus Korean. Kagak dong. Itu Soldam versus Davai dong sama Jet.
Enggak suara. Iya anjing. Paprex, Soldamnya 3 Blay. Beda agent aja.
Iya anjing. Davai jing Porsaken.
Siap bro.
Jauh lah anjing kalau Aim, Cuk. Soldam jago freestyle-nya. Kalau Aim jauh anjing.
Gua dapetin info orang dalam lagi nih. Apa ini prediksi ya, prediksi.
2-0. 2-0, gue 2-0 Paperek lang. Jauh anjing.
Skornya.
Oh, skornya 13.
It's such a powerful tool because if you get kills, you
13.
can just dash
Ya
out
udah
of
pasti
sight.
ada yang 13.
13-2 kayak 13-2.
13-2.
Icebox ya.
Ini
13-2.
jam berapa? Jangan jadi
Kalau nggak 13-2, 13-4.
13-5
Gue antara 13-2 sama 13-4.
I guess address
Diem aja dah,
or
aja.
rather respond, excuse me, there we go, with each
13-5
other. So
nih,
it's kind
guys.
of a nice little starter and honestly again,
Lang lu nggak mau ngikutin gue sih, Lang lu nggak percaya Lang. Udah ganti hari sih tapi sih.
Udah ganti hari cowok. Saatnya gua ini.
13-2 nih kok nggak 13-4 lah.
Nah ya.
To watch the cross around mid and allow you to get up into tube. It's why you see Sage so often walling off that tube area because these sites can be a little bit chaotic.
13 lawan 13-9 ada yang mau jadi dukun di live chat gua. Kejauhan anjing 8 atau 9.
Lihat suaranya.
Masih dong anjing. Oh.
Sugar Zero, what is he doing? He's playing Overwatch. This isn't Valorant.
Dah. Jason main sok dart
Well,
dong.
his HP has downed to 0. I think those
Halo,
pop
Smackdown.
shots that they did just to break the recon dart gave so much information for
Di gua kok live lu nggak nongol di gue ya? Blay masa ya? Gua live kan gue. Gua nggak mungkin live di YouTube doang.
And they don't know he's going to be in garage and he can actually deal some damage here, which
Ini gua sama nonton. Gua baca chat di Buya ini.
Doesn't want to waste the specters in tow and Forsaken, no fear on this man, claims
Kemarin off susah, sekarang di lay capek. Iya anjing.
off cam kill out all the way out on A, but that is still going to be the second
Ada aja ya?
round for Paper Rex. No harm, no
Keluh
foul
kesah
for
menonton
their,
Valo.
for their roster as
OT Blay prediksi
Bikin
gua.
guys, keluh kesah menonton Valo.
Kalau di Xbox OT gua bugil dah. Bolang bugil.
Ini Soldam Korean Jet ya, Korean Jet. Yang di TikTok.
Not that long on this one. I think it is worth pointing out that PaperX on Icebox have been so incredibly dominant, and it was Forsaken.
Delay, suaranya delay nih, tapi bukan dari gua, yang dari sononya anjir.
He farmed 20 kills in just 26 rounds versus Global Esports.
Pak Budi marah melihat ini.
So definitely a player to keep your eyes on in this series.
Ini udah nggak nih kayak?
Yeah, again, one of the, if not the star player.
Masih,
of
Cok.
Masih, anjing.
when they
Itu poison
picked him up,
off-nya aja
it was
dari
just a
awal.
lot of eyes on him. I think we brushed up on
TI
this
megang
in the past
siapa?
days where he
Nggak
is
tahu kalau
that
TI
TI
pada
mah.
seru ya sekarang.
little brother of
Seru anjir kemarin.
Alliance T1 nggak sih sekarang?
top CS:GO players in
Kalau nggak salah ya.
Southeast Asia, and
Nggak tahu
does
gua.
he live up
Kemarin
to
seru anjir.
his, you know, his,
Game terakhir OG lawan
10.000 dari RD. Pesan kata mamah saya 13.7.
kata mama saya 13-7, makasih RD.
T1 sama TI nyebutnya takut kebalik dong.
Yeah, I mean, I don't
T1
know if
Alliance.
Northampton are going to expect 3 players of PaperX already. Here.
Dawai.
You can see Dawai with a shot there. Forsaken finds 2.
Nggak,
On the
13-0
side as
dah.
well, because you know, we'd had Mind Freak push so far forward into B main and drop that wall. As an attacking team, you don't expect there to be very quick rotations coming back to support the rest of the site.
Oke kemarin bener-bener top zone show ya kan? Nggak nonton gue Cok.
Iya anjir, dua game top
Sasuke
show
lawan
show.
Itachi. Kemarin Sasuke lawan Itachi Cok.
Iya, anjing jago banget Topson kemarin, goblok nggak ada otak lang. Buset itu bener-bener kayak match of the tournament, play of the tournament kayak dah.
trades that one out. A 2 versus 1 for Paper X here on the bonus.
Nggak jelas banget asli, jago banget. Thompson kemarin pakai Void Spirit sama Dawnbreaker.
But Forsaken has all the position in the world, and because of that, Recon Dart Astel cannot just push in willy-nilly. And Forsaken, he is trying to bait it out, and he will be able to clean it up.
Suaranya delay sen. Ya, bukan gue, Blay. Observernya.
11-0 ini mah guys. Enggak sih, tapi nggak mungkin nggak dapet skor sih.
13-2 kalau 13-4 ini. Gue soalnya baru bangun nih. Setannya ngebisikinnya juga masih ngaco.
I mean 7-0 currently Forsaken has the same amount of kills.
Bahaya guys, orang dalam.
Put together.
Soalnya delay iya dari sananya bukan kita.
There's a bit of a delay. We are working on making sure.
LCQ low cost qualifier iya juga aja.
Reminder the players do have audio lined up perfectly for them.
Gue mau nyoba lah, matiin lu bentar.
As we try and sort that out. Early aggression through A main. This is something we saw from Paper X in their series versus Global Esports. Divide is all the way up here, and they've got the right to make it happen.
Ronaldo sama Messi. Ronaldo sama Messi duet.
Itu soldam semua itu.
Ini PSG cok. Neymar sama Messi lagi.
Lu lihat dong, Jason muter-muter lang.
Oh.
Aduh. 13-0 ini cok. Jauh anjing. Orang kemarin NTH mainnya kayak kagak ada strat anjing.
Yeah, they are just a little bit. And you know, we've only had the one rifle round, right? But I think we're seeing the different looks Paper X.
Tuh lihat biasanya nggak dikecasterin nggak sih? Kalau lagi next round gitu.
Ini kayak lagi technical issue deh.
13-0 confirm. Dapat lah 1-2 mah kayaknya. Iya anjing. Messi, Neymar, Mbappe disatuin nih. Dari PSG. PRX nama depan timnya udah sama. Apakah itu kebetulan? Kasihan Asurai burik sendiri. Iya anjing. Kayak pengen di home dah.
Asurai grafik Minecraft anjing. Gak ngerti gue juga.
Ini kayak bukan dari ini deh. Dia koneksinya sih harusnya kalau jelek ini.
Iya, Asurai koneksi dianya anjir.
Koneksinya ini bukan kameranya yang jelek. Koneksi dia jelek.
Weren't anticipating it. There was another one where, again, Northeption was taking the B side. They had the Viper wall. Usually, when you're on the defending team, you probably will be waiting for the rest of the
suara iya dari VCT Blay.
Paper Rex is just full on confidence mode. They were just peeking out, didn't really know where to set their crosshairs. But again, with that, with their confidence, with their aim as well, they were hitting shots with the marshals, escaping, getting out back into cover, and then there's like just -2 on the members of Northeption. They couldn't get.
Gila, datangnya kalian bersamaan anjing.
Paper Rex, and everything
apakah ini
down.
kebetulan?
So I feel like Paper Rex right now, they're in their element. This is
Susahnya bareng lagi
to be in the thick of things, and when they're able to thrive in that, other teams that they're up against don't really know how to deal with it, and it's kind of starting to show with 5 rounds.
Go on cam, ntar lagi nyebat. Katanya facecam nggak boleh hilang Sun. Kata siapa?
What we've seen from them, we haven't really seen a coordinated sight hit.
Carian bakat itu biar kalian tuh jadi momotnya berkesan.
Oh itu facecam nggak boleh hilang dari Buyahnya. Cuma kalau begini nggak apa-apa lah, bodo amat anjing. Yang gue pinggirin dah.
Northeption, I'd like to see them try to come in with a little something prepared here, especially since we do have a delay. They can work on that, get the right plan going into round 5. But I do think it is worth sort of rehashing.
Iya di Buyah nggak boleh anjing, nggak boleh ngilangin facecam.
Because right now Paper X are off to an excellent start. We knew they were going to be one of the top dogs coming into the tournament. Northeption were more of the wild card team, right? And we've sort of lifted them onto this pedestal after they demolished F4Q. But now they have to go up against another fantastic team and a team that showed up from day one on this tournament. And that's going to be a real hurdle for them.
Kayaknya Paper X yang ke champion kayak GE dah.
Looked good on Icebox before. It was a 13-3 for Paper X the last time they went on this map.
Abis ini boom, GE F4Q.
Contrast. And speaking of Northeption, actually, I think in the previous days we've also kind of dubbed Northeption as the other team that's probably going to be able to claim that slot going into Valorant Champions, aside from maybe Paper Rex here. So there is really a lot of eyes here, and if they're able to take down Paper Rex, I feel like Northeption will have more issues moving forward into.
Blay, tebakan gue dari kemarin bener, Blay. Selalu nggak percaya sih sama gue. GE ini yang ke champion gila kali lu ya.
Aside from just the morale, also how they're going to be progressing in the tournament.
Emang nggak boleh ngedut depan kamera, nggak boleh kalau gue lagi streaming ini nih. Kan gue izin.
The lower bracket, and that's something that I think they definitely want to happen here. Now, also probably something to point out as well.
Dava lawan game pakai crosshair kayak gitu ya 13-0 lah, Blay. Belum pakai cheat, Blay. Set. Kemarin IGL cuma 1, kalau IGL 5 gimana? Wah, hancur ini beberapa. Lo nggak tahu, Blay. Yang ke Berlin ASEAN Pasifik ini apa? Berapa tim? 1 doang, juara 1 dong.
Come better and maybe rally back the team. But again, that's just a bit looking into the future of this particular first map. But I feel like that might be a scenario that could possibly happen if the trend of the first half, where again Northeption just cannot find a control, continues.
Yeah, I mean,
Halu.
Bukan mau YouTube ya.
First map again, only one rifle round for Northeption. There's a
Pengalaman
lot
ulang.
for them to get their groove, get their confidence back, and try and turn a new leaf over here versus. And I do think you bring up a great point with 10 on the Sova, usually on Icebox, but I mean that Killjoy when he was playing on Ascent, like 10, like you just could not break whatever site he was holding down. It was really insane work. So definitely on the defending side, you can expect to see a lot of great plays from him. On the other side of things, though, I think Forsaken Sova already with like 2 shock dart kills in a single round, just looking absolutely ridiculous. Like that's the kind of stuff. It's just like you sort of scratch your head and you wonder how on earth does that even happen? Just getting those. So very excellent work coming out from him. But
habis joget semalam, Cok.
I'm just waiting to see when Soldum can get a little bit of good work going for us. Right? His jet was absolutely ridiculous in that series. 40 kills.
Kikil deh, mana sih Kikil?
Up against F4Q, and that is not
Sate Kikil kan ya, biasa ya? Bener gak sih?
Again, apologies for the delays.
Kayak gue pernah denger Kikil itu Sate Kikil deh.
Now we want to see Northeption set up a strong attack now they've got the rifles to invest.
Guys, makan guys.
They also have
belum.
I'm wondering if he's gonna try to do anything cheeky at the very start, like a double up.
Nah, udah mulai lagi dong.
Oh yeah, there he is. He's gonna be hovering over, looking for a quick little peek. But I think Paper Rex
mau double updraft dia anjing.
Maybe what was mentality of this particular player.
Udah kayak main di compare.
Look at this, he's pushing with an operator on 2. Nobody's gonna be expecting this. He has a little bit of a pixel angle, and if they're not careful, they could actually collide for him. But they knew exactly what was going into the mind of Dubai, and that's going to be a big one, 4-5 right now.
Yeah, unfortunate for him. And PaperX, once again, we're doing sort of 3 players playing in mid very early on into the round. Right now, they've rotated back over towards A, and they've actually been really quick to pull the trigger on these rotations. As Soldam is going to walk up to...
Suara in-game-nya Blay keras, kagak bisa Blay. Nih kalau gue kerasin, suara casternya juga ikut keras. Tergantung observer ya.
Did pick up an operator. Now the A hit is going to come in through for the team.
Anjing gantiin siapa? Siba.
Utility to slow them down here. Mindfreak is just going to play in this corner and hope that drone can be shot out by his team. So he's in a great position to come up with a couple kills.
Wah, Aaron.
It's going to be huge. Lear kind of giving it a little bit of solace just to at least pick in a couple more frags. Jing, okay, he's starting off
13-0 cuy ini cuy.
As he picks up the 4K to clean out the round. Ender, that was a 3 versus 5. And Northeption, compared to what we saw, they're not checking the corners properly.
Soto yang kikil lang, bukan sate. Soto kikil ya.
Northeption are just buying it at this
gue belum pernah makan kikil.
Belum dikirimin ya, enggak juga sih.
Yeah, if you ask me.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, like, it's just a really good job there from PaperX, right? The comms coming out.
Sama siapa? Maron ya?
After baked to this drone, keep my position unknown for Northeption. So Mindflink's able to play behind Generator right there. There's 2 players running out there. They're getting blinded as well off the cross from the Reyna too. So just a whole lot for Northeption to think about, even though they were able to get that early pick onto Devi lurking up through mid. It just didn't matter at the end of the day with good late round positioning play. working off of one another for Paper Rex. So Northampton going to try another A hit. Still got rifles to work with, and in a post plant you have the pit. 10 should be able to maybe be the one to plant the spike, hopefully get a charge of his ultimate, play the post plants a little bit. Soldown's going to jump onto the site here, but Jing's in the corner. Jing sees hands.
Wah, nggak mati yang pertama.
Well, that's bit of a
Valorant anjing kemarin gua kayak gitu, Cok.
Dip into this. That's
Udah di
very
badan kan
risky,
mati.
but the Vine
Nih,
still
Sheldam. Ah,
capitalizes.
gua juga bisa jadi
Captain
Sheldam
ahead of
katanya.
10. Back to the 3 versus 3. The attackers are quite low in a sense, but
Shiba
they do
kemana?
have everything that they would probably want to in this type of scenario. The Vi is going to be the one to scout out first, as he does have the blades, he does have the dash, he's diving right into the pool, and Estelle shuts one down. It's going to be Forsaken, no more recon darts, and they're actually holding on true here. Sugar Zero has the perfect time to go for the flank, and this is going to be a big one.
Nah, hoki nih.
Estelle and Sugar Zero still in the thick
Ini
of
menangnya
things.
hoki, kagak dihitung nih.
Oh, he has no idea. There's one to his left, there's one to his right, and he is just gonna have to maybe dig his way out of this one. Time might not be of the essence, and he clears things up. And that's gonna be the first round for Northampton, and he survives.
Yeah, he has to do a quick little tuck in of the tummy right there to get out and be all right with that one. But still, Northampton secure the round using the Viper's pit. PaperX couldn't really work into that, lost some of the early trades, but the damage that Bankai is able to do at the end there means 0 rifles carry over into the next round for Northampton. Still should be able to buy, but you can see 3 light armor purchases from them. And they don't have that same ultimate to work with for Sugar Zero.
Kok bocil-bocil Soldamnya kagak ini sih?
10 with the Hunter's Fury.
Kalian tahu nggak kenapa ini nge-like?
Kagak gila.
Nge-like kalian, coba like dulu, coba. Ya kan, Sen?
Betul. Coba di like dulu. Ini kagak ada nge-like-nya langsung.
Pasti delay-nya hilang, Cok.
Coba tadi lu pada nge-like ini kagak dapet satu anjing.
Be a little bit difficult when you're not rocking something like the Sky and you have the Seekers to try and
Skor
counter
tetap
that one
0-6.
out. So
Halo, Bolang.
around Northampton just gonna post
Halo,
up,
Kak
watching the push
Princess.
through B main.
Absen dong we halo. Tum.
Mainkah kita lagi?
Even if you try to use like a recon dart on A specifically against the Viper's pit, it's very difficult to be able to pulse through the whole of that ultimate. Jing, oh, he's threading some dangerous waters here. He's just about to get peeked out if he's not careful, but he does have some sort of coverage, I think, with the help of Forsaken, who's just about to look towards Boiler. Misses the rest of the squad coming outside on Tube here. The vibe, communication, you can really see they're kind of honed in on this. I thought that there was going to be like a bit of a crack that North can try to maybe use to push in, but PaperX, they're literally just plugging it up.
I mean, I love
sekarang nggak langsung
PaperX is
streaming
playing
kayak gitu,
May is
goblok,
just sitting
fantasi.
inside tube, so he's going to get the kill on that one. But PaperX is just so fluid with their movements around the map. They have to be careful though, because
Ini
May
kill
has been
feednya
able
nggak
to work his way
Gua turun.
up in towards Kitchen. But if you're just watching the minimap and not actually the screen, you just see instantly after Divide gets that pick, he's flying around, running back towards mid. There he is for a kill on towards Sugar Zero. But May has a timing here. We can come on out. They pinch down on Divide, get that kill.
Guys, nggak gitu.
Still, Jing is able to trade one out. So just 2 players alive and no time for Northampton on the attack.
I want to see like the headshot percentage of Jing afterwards, because every time he gets a duel, it's always just somebody caught in the mix. 10 sneaking right back up, but the round's already over. He's probably feeling it a little bit there, but there's just not enough time on that clock to make happen what
Nggak
they
dapet.
want
Cuk,
to.
operatornya. Sedih.
Has not been off to a good start here for Northampton.
Gua
Don't have
gua
much to
jadi
offer
rajin
in
live
this
tuh karena gua
round
udah di
either,
rumah, Cok.
and I think it just goes to
Kemarin
show
gua di
like
Bintaro,
Northampton have played
mager.
very slow. I think is fair to say for them. And in their previous years against F4Q, they were able to actually punish F4Q a lot of the time with their more controlled play. F4Q would creep up, look for a little bit more individual moves to get the job done. Northampton with that setup, just defaulting out, making sure they're holding their angles. They're able to find some kills, but PaperX have just been on top of their game. You can see once again with this aggressive push up A main, Jing is by himself, right? Like PaperX have put so much attention on mid, round in and round out, but it's still the individual players of PaperX that are showing up and getting these kills untraded by Northampton.
Skema live tadi dia nggak apa-apa
And here's the thing, Jing backs away, Devi, Forsaken take control in mid, leaving Devi on mid to keep the push up, and he has all the information as to where probably the opponents are. There's a 3-stack on mid, but Devi is looking for that cross just in case. Also has his dash right out.
Davai udah di mid nggak sendirian ulang.
Flank to come afterwards.
Davai lo lihat minimap.
And this might have been just too much of a oversight from the side of Paper Rex. Northeption, great job of being able to take this particular site for themselves. They're going to be able to plant it, and yeah, still plus his equip on the same button, so he had to jump up. But yeah, that's going to be a retake, but on these weaker weapons.
Yeah, but I mean, I think Paper Rex, like, this is totally
it's
a hard stack site after you get an initial pick, because you know Northeption hasn't invested into this round, right? So by splitting up on the map, you risk losing some duels, getting traded, getting some rifles over your opponent. Now it's 5 rifles versus 1 to Northeption. Paper Rex can look to try and play this retake out, and that's exactly what they're going to do. But Northeption have found so many kills with the pistols on it. They've still got a 2 versus 2 going for them.
Forsaken jiggling a little bit there. Can his classic rain true? Oh, that spike screaming intense. Harder, Mind Freak, get away from me. And that's going to be Paper Rex losing the round. You mentioned it already that they didn't want to lose the weapons for Paper Rex, but they lost it in that round. Nice compressed play for a quick refresh for Northeption. Really won them that second point for them. And
ada apa lagi coba ini?
Lose nothing and win everything. Now boosted up with all these rifles in their hands.
Yeah, it was a little hard to see exactly what went down on that side, because so many kills came in sort of one after another there. I know that Northeption were kind of ratting on site, playing behind their Sage walls, playing inside some Viper smokes as well to try and pop out and get some good kills on the timing, but Paper Rex uncharacteristically dropping that one, even with the superior weaponry heading into the fight. And you can see they're actually a little bit broken in terms of economy. Northeption will take a timeout and figure out how to make this one happen, because again, you look at that round, you look at the 2 rounds that Northeption have won, right? And it's one round where they had the Viper's Pit, and that sort of guaranteed them the win once they got on site. And this one where they didn't really get challenged at all to plant the spike over on a site. Paper Rex just completely abandoning the site. And I think that Northeption, if they've been paying attention here, they'll notice Paper Rex very quick to rotate and
13-4 nih kayak.
punish for the last 4
Awah,
rounds.
berapa kayak 13-10 kayak 13 juta kayak.
Much of a better success chance for Northeption.
Mereka nggak pakai akun sendiri ya. Mereka pakai kliennya juga beda ya. Turun yang dari Riot langsung kliennya beda.
If I think we could probably get a replay of a play that happened in that last round, I would really love to see Tens' perspective there. In any case, there's going to be some quick trades. Estelle immediately brings May back to life, gives that proper respect, sold him. Haven't seen him pop off at all in this game. Will be able to find maybe a thing or two. Cloudburst just for that safety. Once above him, and Benkai strikes 2. This is rather important. Estelle's gonna be overwhelmed. And what is this?
13-2 nih kayak.
Karma Retribution? Both rounds lost by teams who had weapons, and teams that had no buys were able to take it. What?
Look, I'm not convinced that Paper Rex know they're playing defense for the first half. The way they're setting up, it legitimately looks like they are trying to attack into attacker spawn every single time, whether it's the 3-man push up mid, the 2-man push through A. That time, again, it's just flying through B, getting up and playing on those multiple angles. It's Soldom there that uncharacteristically just completely chokes on that initial kill and then gets swung out on. He gets killed, rifles are picked up, and well, Jing continues this spree of aggression through A. 2 kills, he heals, he doesn't leave the position, he's reloading, still open to attack, gets traded, or get some damage taken just a little bit, but it is just unreal what Paper Rex are continuing to do here.
Kalau di monitor tuh nyalain tuh dimatiin bang. Wah, gue kurang tahu tuh, gue nggak pernah nyeting monitor anjir. Default gue.
Estelle has gotten himself a Vandal in hand. I don't think Jinx is gonna know about this, and he's
Ini Astel dapat sini mulu anjing.
This could allow them to maybe overwhelm the remaining members of Paper Rex. There's one onto the A side. They scurry over towards B, but Benkai is handling it all the way onto Snowman. He might not be able to hear where they're coming from, but he has a general idea of where it's going to be striking. With 50 seconds left onto the timer ender, I like how Northeption is faking this. They're trying to make sure that maybe they can catch the buy back as he tries to hopefully meet up with his teammate, he's going to be looking at the wrong direction. Oh no, I don't know who's going to be able to catch you because everybody's
no one's going to see anyone.
Exactly that.
Dava operatornya sabun ya.
Was expecting them to walk in towards B again. PaperX playing very carefully. To be able to group up with one another before they hit the site. At this point, though, now, I feel like you're going to expect it to be an A hit. There should be an audio cue from Devi. Here's everything going down on the site.
Ulti lagi nggak nih Viper?
One with the operator, but they might not expect him if he can take a forward position now. Over 410, sliding on forward with the Sheriff, and he gets the kill. Now a 2-on-1. It all comes down to Sugar Zero.
Sugar Zero is making use of the smoke integrity timer that he has to get out of there. Here's all of the footsteps, and he's just kind of cooking the rest of the opponents here. Benkai has to try to spot him out, and he does.
How? He didn't even see him. He just spammed. He's expecting. He's expecting off of the kill. He knows you have to try and loop around here and play time after you molly the spike. And well, Benkai gets the read, gets the kill, gets the defuse. It's a little bit dodgy for PaperX, but they're continuing to string these rounds together.
Benkai, being that controller player for PaperX.
Anjing soalnya kill 3. ACS 81 bangsat.
What was happening all around him just from the utilities being thrown his direction, where it was being thrown from, and he did not spot Sugar Zero. You're absolutely correct. He just knew where he had to kind of spam the shots to be able to hit. Because even if Sugar Zero was able to maybe get a lineup or two, he was still out in the open technically. And a good calculated guess is just what Benkai needed to net them that round, which is incredibly smart coming in from PaperX. That was so close though from Northeption. Don't get me wrong, Northeption was fantastic, but they just did not know what was going to be coming from. Forsaken, it seems like he wants to tag a couple. He was able to take some damage in, but not really a takedown that he was probably looking for.
Yeah, I mean, 2 hits, 1 on 10, 1 on May. Gonna be happy with that. And I actually really like how Estella's just trying to hold that A push from back belt. This time around, though, it won't be Jing pressing on forward. Devi is cutting off the rotations, and will get the kill. Taken down to just 14 HP. Should be able to find a heal from Mindfreak if he wants that. But, I mean, this is all you need now for PaperX. They're going to gear up over towards A again. Very quick on these rotations over. Their suspicions are confirmed. They got 3 players on the backside.
They activated the Empress already. Benkai, or Devi, excuse me, not going to be able to take the shot in, but Devi will. Blades have been expended.
Sold them.
Kills here and there. Estelle is onto the corner. Sold them. Beautiful shot to take in the site, but they've already rattled the rest of PaperX. They're here to fight, and Estelle as well as Soldem, not really the healthiest of players. Benkai scanning a little bit as he is waiting for his teammate, but he got isolated. Mindfreak is all down to him, as you know that he's on default, and he waited. Well, Soldem just got debated to peek out. That's going to be another round for PaperX.
Oh, that's so unfortunate, because Benkai just immediately says, I'm going to break that Sage wall. The 2 players from Northeption are effectively stranded on site. They don't really have the space to be able to rotate off of there. They know there's potential for players to be coming from so many different directions, so they're sort of bundled up by that stack right there. On by both sides. I mean, PaperX in these round clutches have been excellent. Has been so good for the team. 2-3 rounds won when he's just the last 1 or 2 players alive. PaperX now with 9 on the board. And coming into today, we were expecting a pretty close matchup between the 2 teams, with how Northeption impressed us just the other day, dismantling F4Q on the exact same first 2 maps. Icebox and Descent is going to be the next one. Now, Soldem will have to use those blades, and
kita lihat nih. Ayo dong, Soldem.
Going straight into the Viper's pit. Like Jing can just play right on the outside of it here. For the cross, sees the gun, gets the shot. Buck's gonna hunt for a little bit more.
No, that was just a little bit.
Anjing, temannya dibunuh.
So much. Oh no, 10.
Aduh.
That is, that's a mistake and a half. That's not going to be too good. And they're still fighting on this Viper ultimate that was put on top of 410. This is the strongest Viper ultimate that you can have on the A side, optimized by PaperX, and Northeption still are banging their heads.
Surrender.
I'm not sure why they haven't decided to just go straight for B. Maybe they were hoping an opponent or 2. But now that they have, they're still going to have to deal with Mindfreak, who is just waiting at the precipice of that push. Forsaken has already given the information. Now Recon Dart sets it up beautifully for Mindfreak.
berhasil
a
mengobrak
flawless
abrik
round for
rumah
Paper
tangga
Rex to
dari
end the
Korea,
Yeah,
guys
just
ya.
beautiful play from them, and I think Northception, what they're thinking there is the last time the Viper's Pit was used in the exact same position, there was only a Viper there. The rest of Paper X really fluid, rotating over to that B site. Northception got chopped down over on that side of the map. Okay, well, if there's just one player here, let's scout him out. We can kill them, maybe use that Sova ultimate and get the job done. But this time, Paper X had mixed it up, and I think that's one of the best things we've seen from Paper X on the defending side is they have a lot of very aggressive looks, but they're not really running the same play back too many times in a row. They're definitely keeping it very, very fluid, and now they go in onto attack with 10 rounds to their name. Northception with a seemingly insurmountable task ahead of them.
I'm going to add this Ender as well. They took a very long time to actually set up for A. So that's probably why we saw like 4 members of Paper X already there, because there was a lot of players from Northception that was making a lot of noise, maybe hoping that, as you mentioned, who was it, Benkai, that was somewhere maybe near, and they couldn't. And those tiny bits of audio cues really gave that much needed, I think, read from Paper X. And speaking of reads, they make a lot of hullabaloo on the A side. And look at how they pull a trigger quickly onto B. There's going to be multiple Viper smokes here. I'm not sure if anybody's going to be able to spot out anyone here, but what is going to be a certainty is the spike will get planted. The buy backs away. He's down to 43. I'm not sure if he can get healed back up, but this is going to be the post plant that Northception have to pine over for. But it's still going to be a 5 versus 5.
Yeah, no heal from Mindfreak. Just waiting for that on cooldown. But watch the flank on your minimap. Jing is so far forward, just sprinting through defender spawn. And yet
musuh soalnya tinggal lari-lari doang.
With 2-3 players, it's huge from Northception to shut this one down, but May is on top of the spike, ratting it out, runs straight on through there, gets 1, gets 2, almost makes it a third. Northception hold on, win out on pistols to kick off the defending side.
Great stuff from Northception. We haven't seen that happen for them in the first half, but they took a bit of a breath. They knew that it was going to be a 5 versus 5, so going in one after the others, individuals, would not be the fantastic thing to do, and they just kind of overwhelmed the rest of Paper Rex.
Kena sih harusnya GH kill 3. Dengan permainan dia yang di konten kayak gitu, GH kill 3 kena mental lah pasti anjing. Nggak mungkin enggak lah.
I love it. I mean, at the same time, you have a huge round advantage.
Cuma kan kayak nama dia gede banget gitu loh, pasti pressure-nya makin gede lang. Nggak mungkin nggak kena mental. Gue sembah dia nggak kena mental.
We'll see what they can accomplish here, because it's not like they're trying any sleight of hand this time around, just sort of pushing up through the A site. Already 3 players from Northception. Jumps up over towards 410. Oh my goodness. 3 different players, but still gets his on the push forward.
I got mine. As I feel like North American streamers and players talk about. Jing gonna be in the thick of things with that Cloudburst, and how does Solden find a second with a head through it? He's gonna be chasing hard. He is feeling it.
Ngamuk mulai. Marah bos.
Nowhere to go, no mobility to had, and
13.
So much from that one, even able
13 banyak nih kayak.
Yeah, that was a bit of the flavor of Solden we were expecting to see. That's what he did just the risky run from Paper X, of course, you're looking at it here, and they lose the round regardless, but now won't have what they need to invest in this next round. And I think that when it comes to like forcing down on round 2 after you lose pistols, oftentimes what I'm thinking is like, if I have a really big round advantage, there's just no need to go for that even footing into the round, right? Where you're going to be slightly subpar with, you know, not being able to buy full armor with a Spectre, because regardless, heading in the next round, you should have the rifle advantage. You're going to be able to go for that and likely secure yourself an 11th round with that big advantage, turn that into a win quickly. Now it's just going to be the sheriffs largely. Jing says all he needs is a sheriff, and it's 4 versus 4. Solden hyper aggressive, trying to stop the rifles from being picked up. It does some damage on his way out. May there as well. Gets a couple for the team, and Northception secure their 5th.
Ngamuk cuk.
No fear. I also wanted to point it out, Solden in the first half was actually bottom fragging with around 3 or 5 kills, but now check it out, 13, the highest of the pack for Northampton.
Oh, ini udah dimainin sama abangnya lagi nih, mainin sama Soldamnya lagi, tadi dimainin sama adenya, Cuk.
All the rifles that they would want, but they now have to respect, even though there's still a 5-round deficit here, Ender, Northampton, they're starting to build this kind of steam.
Iya. Besok ada nih ngupload how to play Jet in VCT LCQ. Anjay.
Feels bad, man. Anyways, sold out with a really different A push. Often you see you jumping up towards belt, playing off of those ropes.
Ini apa lagi nih begini nih?
Over by gate here. Will anyone step into his crosshair for the time being? HyperX say no. A bit slower of a round and Northampton.
Wah, gue sih nggak mungkin begini nih kalau gue operatoran nih di bawah.
Three players really
dirangkat nggak bisa anjing.
Down through mid, making sure no one's gonna be able to step on forward.
Mana ada orang nunggu kayak PRX jing maju terus.
Iya anjir.
For Forsaken to try and get into whichever.
Ayo dong kasih gue game seru dong bangsat gue.
Space taken up through mid. Sugar Zero almost had really nice timing
aduh,
to find the kill right there, but at range, hard to fight back against what HyperX have to offer.
Sugar Zero, what was that for? Oh, it was because Soldam was already pushing on A main. That's going to be the big pinch. Forsaken has gone all the way through on Kitchen, and his first target is going to be May!
Jason alay banget maju-maju ke situ bangsat.
And that's going to be the 2 versus 4 with Northampton having the numbers advantage. The
Crosshair
is going to be on the side itself with the operator. I'm wondering how effective he's going to be here.
Iya, crosshair ini nggak jelas ngapain juga ke sana.
Let's see how that goes.
He has to dash on out though. Still a 2 versus 3. Is there a wall available? There is. So May can actually use that one to block off the plane because it's just an operator looking at it. Divide can't actually break the chunk of the wall. Can't find the shot either. So holding on to that utility for Estelle allows Northampton to win out this round.
Akankah VS terjadi
13-8 lah.
Vision Striker terjadi lagi kah?
Ngetro nih PaperX anjing.
I was going to say about this. Oh yeah, there you go. The Vi, with the weapons that he had specifically, classic plus the operator, worst weapons to break the wall. That's like what, 1000 HP, and those things don't really fire as quick of a rounds as you were looking for. That's why you saw the Vice team, I believe that was Mind Freak that wanted to go for the challenge just because there was literally no time. Even if it was still going to be a full defuse, that was definitely all Northampton to lose it, and they did not. That was such a great round for them. And now HyperX, they played slow that last round. Seems like they want to try to explode here with the Vi having the blades, but with this big bubble of a smoke for Sugar Zero, they're gonna get thinned
Di sini delay banget, emang iya apa? Nonton di mana lu nggak delay banget?
Fall back a little bit. Really likes playing on top of default to take that initial contact on the Viper. Some Viper players like to play a little bit more forward over towards yellow, but he wants to play deeper on site, allow the rest of Norception to get there and then pop on out from behind these Viper walls. Sees the player playing up towards top of site. 10 gets actually 2 kills there on the entrance from HyperX, so really good hold for Norception for the time being.
I have the spike.
Spike is still yet to get planted. Forsaken Herd going through the ropes, and it's all down to Ben High. He's a clutcherist when it comes to it, but this might be too much for him to handle as he just doesn't know where anybody is. He finds the one pickoff, which is great to begin with. And he does have his ultimate, so maybe, even with 20 seconds, there is a possibility. He still needs to pick up the spike, though. And there it is.
Holding ulti menang sih.
Down onto the side, still wondering, but he's going to be risking it, and there you go.
Got the pit, though, to work with. Again, we have a Sage Wall. We have a couple of Crunchies here.
Oh, udah ngalai.
Oh my god, he has his short. He's trying to scout out all the exits of the pit. Look at Soldam. Oh my god. Like an angel from heaven, he descends.
Like an angel from heaven, anjay.
To the back of Benkai's head.
Benkai jadi pengen keluar tau nggak?
All that, the shorty assassin. Oh my goodness, Soldam just loves to use this particular weapon. It's what, 200.
Upgrade PC bagian apa yang buat naikin FPS game Valdo? Prosesor VGA.
He just obliterates. He thought Benkai
RAM.
he was trying to guess when 2 versus 1 was going to be happening. He was grounded, but Soldam was already up above.
Motherboard. Lu ganti prosesor harus ganti motherboard.
How strong a Jet is when a person is just that comfortable with it. It's just that adept with it. And Soldum, he's a master.
Soldum. Ya,
I
setiap hari main Jet anjing gimana? Nggak paham banget.
Been playing just on the outside of his pit so many times in this game. Got a Lear ready to go for Soldum to peek on out, but Soldum doesn't connect with the off shot. That's not unfortunate one. Doesn't use any HP on the exchange. We can simply fall back and
Harus ngapainnya ya?
Harus ngapain aja lu tahu aja pasti.
Iya. Nge-pick-nya kemana?
Tapi semua orang pasti bisa pakai agent itu. Bisa dong, nggak bisa. Cuman nggak paham atau nggak.
Taking some space over towards A. I think Forsaken actually used the drone and the dart B, which is what initially caused some quick rotations out of
Kan orang nanya pasti nanya gitu. Lu bisa pakai ini nggak? Ya kalau jawabnya bisa mah bisa ya.
Oh, wanting to jump over on top of screens there just to get that high vantage point onto the A site. He's gonna have, I think, a good one-way if a smoke from Benkai actually covers him. That's gonna be quite fatal. Oh, not really. It's gonna be just a bit of a side here, and maybe the plant on the spike right there on generator.
Daud banyak nih Ten.
Approaching this so slowly, but even then the explosion for Adaption is quick. Jinx gonna have to create some space here. Still, they have not planted the spike down. He's already activated the Empress, so he's really committing to this fight, waiting for maybe something. Astel has brought back 10, and Ching and Devi, what can you do? 2 versus 5, Devi with the operator. This is too much. This is too many people, and once again the wall.
Dikejar dari yang di mid no, lo lihat no, Sofa udah di mid no.
Counter just held onto that wall so many times. He does get the shot on Soldum, but he's being swarmed by so many players. No bullets in the tank. You can't turn around this wall. 10 finds the shoulder from just around the corner. Northception have put so many players together here.
Main lang.
And the game is all of a sudden looking competitive once again. Northception on defense have been absolutely perfect. 6 in a row for them, converting on bonus rounds, absolutely shutting down PaperX when they've come in towards the sites. And in those late round moments, Northception have been flawless.
Udah ketar-ketir nih, udah time out nih. Aduh.
And I didn't mention at the start of the first half.
Udah Flying Loss operator lah, maju itu sama Jing.
Better understanding of the second half. And again, I don't want to go too generalized into that, but it seems like they have found their groove once 10, Mei, and Soldum start to kind of work
biar bugil. Bolang yang bugil.
Kalau defend the sites because they know the timing's much more than feel with the attacking. And PaperX now, whatever they try to do, as you mentioned, they throw some utilities of Forsaken to maybe bait out some rotation, but because PaperX aren't willing to take the fight without getting that proper understanding of what's gonna be waiting for them on the site that they want to push on, they take a very long time. And this is when Reception immediately get the read after like a few seconds of PaperX, waiting too long.
Katanya dia kuat, jadi dia gambling anjing.
PaperX are gonna have to mix something up here to figure out how to actually get on one of these sites. It's interesting too, because we haven't even seen the initial picks, like Soldum's op haven't really found its mark too many times. They're going to go back to the pistol round strat, which was a B hit. So work through A from Jing, and you can see Soldum's actually taking a lot of space over on the A side. I think the duel between those two is going to be a big one here in terms of deciding late on in the rounds whether or not Jing can get back over towards this B site. But PaperX are being very cautious on actually going far forward here. It's been very quick on the rotations from Northception thus far, and Soldum is the one to get the fight pushing through the A site. That's big for PaperX.
Oh, 10's been knocked out by the ultimate as well. Brought back by Mind Freak, but he's out in the open. He's basically a free pinata if you want to take that. 3 versus 3 now.
Look at the walls.
Do have the oh man, there's a Tetris game going on. This is going to be quite tricky. Somebody's have to defuse for Northception, but they still have time. Devi, he's really rocking a hard place, and it's all down to Forsaken. The man of the hour, an action plan. Spots one on top of him, but he's getting corralled. Thankfully enough, the recon dart is back. And can he do? But I think that he was done onto his icebox, and he doesn't even matter. 4K, the clutch from Forsaken comes finally around for PaperX.
Jangan Son.
I mean, just the fact that his recon dart came up at the very last second, it comes up.
Lu shock dart, lu recon, Dave main operatoran, gak guna di belakang anjing.
Play and get those 2 kills. bringing PaperX to 11 and winning their first round on attack. Even though
Jingnya maju sendirian.
go well for them in that round, you know, you had the player pushing through mid. Jing actually got shot off on the back. Soldom's pushed through the A site. It didn't matter. All the slowdown that was going on site, those walls make it very hard for Reception to actually gain space and go for the defuse. Soldom once again with the operator. This time he gets it. He has the shotgun. He's sticking around for more. And he gets it!
Could have been the collateral as well. He saw Mindfreak.
Klik kanan.
Wait, that's me. Okay. He has his teammate now to help him out.
I just can't believe he's going again. He says, operator, perfect. Now I have my shorty. Let's use the operator again. Back to the knives. He never says no. He never gives up. He is always going for that one extra.
Soldom is honestly supposed to be everybody's spirit animal when you try to play Valorant. Like his methodology, the way that he approaches the fights, his fearlessness to not back away from that position rather than to use his dash and cloudburst to run away, he sticks into it. And aside from him being the threat, it also opens up his teammates to follow up quickly to what he wants to do. And that's why you saw May was there to kind of dip in his toes in the kill department. Now Mindfreak as well as Benkai gonna have to try to go deep into this one. Slows are being pushed out. They're getting isolated, and look at how slowly Northeption are coming in, making sure that every nook and cranny as they push up onto the B side is covered. Benkai's been able to pick up the operator, but it's all really onto Mindfreak to hold the fort before they come in.
Yeah, 3 players coming from underneath tube, retaking site.
Yeah.
Has the up, but doesn't connect on the first shot. That is absolutely devastating. And the wall drops at the same time that Mindfreak needs it to be there. It all comes down to Benkai. The players are coming around from the left side of Yellow. He's going to try and get behind this.
Benkai!
He's actually working with time. Now all of a sudden it becomes doable.
Dia nggak ada ini apa line up?
No longer. Northeption will take their 9th round. Put that one on the board. They're trying to take this all the way up against PaperX.
Kini line up buang dua-duanya nggak ada waktu itu. Tapi ini sih bisa dibikin setengah-setengah. Enggak sih kayaknya.
Travelnya lama juga.
Maybe to delay the defuse on the spike, but he knew that somebody was gonna be marking him. Whether that's gonna be something that bites him later on, because now PaperX are back to 0 in terms of the economy. They're gonna have to work long and hard for this. Thankfully enough, though, at least in this particular round, Northeption control it, but for PaperX, they can maybe work a little bit of magic, get a couple of kills, and even if they lose this round, maybe bring up some ult charges. He's not losing any beats here. He's already looking for the kills, not allowing PaperX to get any foothold whatsoever.
Yang baru masuk dikit juga kena anjing. Di mana tuh Rikon?
Spam that kill through the smoke onto Benkai. Don't know if there's an audio cue or something like this.
Detik berapa, San?
1:13, 1:12, 1:11, 1:10. Berapa lo? Iya, sama.
Not the most challenging thing in the world. Not a lot of places for PaperX to hide on the attack, and Mindfreak just getting absolutely swarmed on site. That spike hasn't even hit the ground, so you can't even take that as the small victory there for PaperX as players just continue to hit the ground.
Last up to maybe get a dink or two.
Aduh,
not gonna happen. Are on that double-digit round.
Nih udah nggak bisa ini nih, Blay.
PaperX, you thought that you can leave us in the dust.
Udah nggak bisa jadi dukun lagi nih gue nih.
Nipping at the buds, licking at the heels, and they're just one more away before they equalizes to the 11-11 ender. This is looking dire straits for PaperX. This has been what, like 7 rounds, 8 rounds before they got one off in the second half. This is not looking too good if that's going to be like the metric we're going to look at this moving forward.
Lag lagi yang dipegang ngomongan waktu bugil. Siapa yang ngomong gitu? Kayak gue jadi cewek,
Just the Sage over. Or rather, I was gonna say be the duelist. The Sage playing over towards A with Mindfreak.
Nggak boleh ngepredik gue anjing.
Might have a great timing. If he wants to take the peek and see the walk through mid. Well, doesn't expect them to be right there, so just strolls on out of that one. With the Viper's Pit going down on B, PaperX have said all they want to do is hit this A side, but they don't have a drone, they don't have a recon dart from Forsaken, so utility to actually get on this site comes down to a single Leer from Jing. That is all they have to work with. They have to be on top. And we see a cape there from Soldom. He knows
Kena no anjing Jason.
He looks down, he tags him. Wall Forsaken is taken down.
Wah, Soldom udah sange nih.
From PaperX.
PaperX are going for a default play. They're not getting the better of it.
Kalah Blay ini Blay 13-11 Blay. Nggak ada duit, cuk.
Taken off of his throne, and there you have it. Northception, they're 2 away from taking this one. And PaperX, all
Jason, lu kemana,
has just been an illusion. It was only on the first half. The second half, it's all Northception. And look at how much Soldem has already picked up. 20 kills onto this one. Ender and PaperX back to the drawing board once again with just the pistols. This is not what they were expecting. This is not what they were hoping for. And as you mentioned, the lack of utilities for PaperX is not helping their case to get any rounds moving forward into this one.
No, I mean, PaperX, you can see right there, like, it can be pretty hard to actually take sites. Site, you just drop down that sage wall. It's been very effective when PaperX have gone B. They get the spike on the ground, but then they lose in the post-plant situations. A side a little bit easier to play from an attacking side in those posts, but Soldom just has a judge for some reason. I guess because he wants to play aggressive and not hand over a rifle into the hands of PaperX, but May is there on the site for the kill, and now you're just about to walk into a whole lot of rifles. They have the wall to try and cut off at least one entrance back into the site. They're not really going to have much room of anywhere to get out here, Asarai.
Nice on.
There's one at the bottom of them. Forsaken has picked up the judge, but he swaps out, not thinking that it's going to be a weapon that he can use. 2 versus 4, still has a res. Mindfreak is making a lot of noise from afar. That could have given Benkai some time to maybe be a bit sneaky here, but that spike is way out into the open, but still he whiffs the shot onto May.
Nggak jadi 13-2, 13-4, 13 berapa lang lu lang? 5 ya?
Beautiful retake for them in PaperX.
Ini hari apa sih?
They only have one
more
shot at this.
They only have one more shot, but they have so much to work with, right? They nearly full save that round, just some sheriffs to try and get one or 2, so they should have money to buy out some rifles. And when you see the ultimates,
Soldem udah marah, Blay.
Mindfreak has the res, you have the Hunter's Fury from Forsaken, just 1 point before Jing can pop that Empress.
Kagak anjing.
Nuts, and that's what you're going to be looking for from PaperX to accomplish in this round. It's been very, very challenging for them the last few times. They've had to go here, and looks like it's just going to be
Kan tadi langsung gue bilang, yang bugil bolang, Blay.
Maybe they try to get Jing in a forward position on A again before they re-hit B, try and get a late.
Dimarahin lu Blay jadinya.
It seems like B site, what they've done a lot of times.
Jadinya marah. Iya ini.
Right, so then when they're backing up, they have a couple players on site that get traded down.
Belum panas tadi, Blay. Udah kayak wrecking dia.
Eventually, and if you're playing B,
PaperX nggak punya line up. Kayak nggak ada deh.
With A, you're going to watch your minimap and see whether or not the lurk through from Benkai can be effective. If he can cut off these rotations from Northception, it could be huge.
He's playing with hot water, but he was able to go through
14-12 kayak ini lang.
Still has a delayed push. Yeah, there it is. And Soldem, he's gonna have to go dig deep into this one. 4 versus 5. That is not
Biji
gonna be happening, and we go into
bolang bugil, Blay. Bolang bugil, Blay. YouTube-nya kayak lu. Nggak ada babynya.
And that he was able to do that is huge, because now Northception don't have 4 players on site to not allow these players to get on out of their Benkai.
Ini 14-12 sih kayaknya. Kalau maju begitu barengan nggak bisa anjing CT-nya. Dari tadi maju Jing sendirian.
Much stronger suited for the defending side, and PaperX's defensive half was just completely defined by their aggressive defensive play, right? Pushing up 2-3 members, hard stacking sites. They're very willing to play for retake here, and I think Northception, that has to be their biggest learning heading in here, is PaperX will overcommit on these early rotations. So maybe a quick fake over towards A or something like this, switch it up, go back into B. Could be some ideas for Northception, but they are all 5 A main for the time being.
Guy tagged, has to back away, fearing the wall bang to come through. Jing right on top with him, waiting for maybe somebody to overextend, but he's got to be careful because he's also quite exposed. Oh, that was going to be a cross, and Soldem almost
Jing sisa 6 darah.
0. The plant on the spike will push through. It's all about that retake now for Paper Rex, but look at how many members of Northampton
Map pilihan siapa ini? Ini map pilihan Paper Rex ya.
Yeah, and Dubai has an operator for the retake too. Definitely not ideal. Rifle is stuck on site for him to be able to trade into. Estelle getting aggressive, turns the corner. Don't know if that was the right idea, but a tag from Recon Dart will get some information over towards Northception. Forsaken here, whether or not he wins this duel against Sugar Zero is going to be absolutely critical. The wall goes down, and they're just going to full stick the defuse again. We see it coming through from Paper X, but Maze popping up. 3 kills at the end right there.
Oh, bete sih.
And secure an attacking side.
Match point.
Bete sih.
I cannot contain my excitement there. Pros don't fake.
Dismiss ngelewatin Jason.
Well, sometimes they just
Taron.
not get that. That's about
Jason pusing nggak tuh?
Good timing from me.
Ngeliat depan sama ngeliat belakang.
Sure. Sounds like I've heard that one for years.
It's a saying.
It's a saying.
It's there. Yeah, if it's not you, it's gonna be May.
Oh my god.
Oh, kena mental sini Paper X.
Paper X, they only won 2 rounds on their attacking half, and now they've got to make it work for themselves. Setting up over towards B for the time being, and again, Northception. Sugar Zero likes just fall back, play deep on B sites. It's going to take their time as they clear these corners. They have a Recon Dart for the site take, already used that drone. 4 players of Northception have already shown up to the site. They've got players up in heaven. They've got a man back site. The flank is going to be coming in as well, but Jing gets that initial pick. That's huge.
Oh, untung dapat 1 cuk.
Oh, there was a follow-up there from Soldem though, but Paper Rex making sure that nobody's going to get that refrag into theirs.
Wah, GG lang. Wah, GG lang.
Comes out. That's the dash from Dubai, and he just came in and lost the round for Paper Rex. Northception with a
oh my god.
In the first overtime, I actually thought that was second, but first,
14-12,
man.
I mean, look, I'm so glad this first map delivered. We came into the day, we
said
Northception is the match of the day, maybe the match of the tournament. We'll have to see, because Icebox delivered. We get an OT. Northception fight back.
Mataku sakit, cok.
10 rounds to 2 on the first half. They battle back into OT.
Astagfirullahaladzim.
They win the round, and we're going to be going into Ascent next. Don't go away. We're going in to our next match.
Abis ini Ascent anjing.
BS moment guys, anjrit.
Ya Allah.
Di nerf anjing, Paper Rex di nerf sama Korea ditahan skor segitu terus, tai.
Tadi dia habis time out, Blay.
Enggak dikasih menang.
Habis TO, nelpon Lisa Blackpink langsung dapat kekuatannya lagi.
Nggak jadi NTH nih guys, nggak jadi NT dah. Icebox tidak cocok untuk lawan Korea. Iya anjing. Comeback terus.
Korea comeback Icebox mulu ya.
Nanti aja apa Korea mix dia, Korea sama Jepang playernya. Tapi timnya dari Jepang kok nggak salah. Kok nggak salah ya? Kalau nggak salah. Ini gara-gara Mansen ngomong tolong kasih gua match seru. Iya anjing bener. Wah, Mansen sih. Gara-gara lu ngomong, please kasih gue match seru, kata lu tadi.
Bagus, Blay. Seru tapi, Blay.
Nggak salah kalau nggak ya?
Bagus map seru. Dava yang maksud apa yang iya anjir. Terus kalau mereka lah.
Catherine nggak ngasih kopi. Ente. Masih ada 2 map lagi guys. Santai lah. Refresh yuk guys, yuk. Kita nonton TI dulu gak sih? Belum mulai ya?
Mana TI?
Alliance.
Kita lihat schedule. TBD semua anjing. T1 Alliance. Oh iya anjing.
Susah juga sih, itu pasti buru-buru anjing.
Ngaretnya jauh juga nih, jam 2 jadi jam 3 sekarang belum mulai.
Dia aja entah kenapa, oh iya.
Aduh.
Refresh, santai PPX gue chat dulu Aron, gue chat. Ntar santai Ron bisa anjay.
Kemarin T1 sama PSG LG menang siapa? PSG LG di 2-1. Game 2 seru banget. Tapi kalau tadi menurut gua di attackernya parah sih. Kayak apa ya? Jingnya maju sendiri, terus nggak ada follow up juga, kasihan anjing. Rokok nih gue ngejauh, emang kelihatan? Udah nggak kelihatan kan? Gue jauhin cok. Kurang jauh ya? Maaf bang. Tadi kelihatan dikit dah, nggak apa-apa lah ya, dikit ya, namanya juga manusia blay. Kemarin TI itu OG lawan ini juga seru. OG lawan Quincy Crew. Map 3 Breeze ya. Map 2 Asen. Map PKNTH Mansen. PPX defend dulu harusnya. Breeze PPX yang ngepick. Kemarin bener-bener ini sih PSG LG di T1 tuh yang seru map 2 game kedua. OG dua gamenya, game 1 seru sih, game 2 pembantaian. Game satunya comeback perkara top zone, anjing nggak bisa dimatiin top zone-nya.
Guys, gue nge-gym dulu ya.
Abang Ismail GG iya. GG good luck lil bro. Sasuke Itachi anjing.
Gym dulu ambil nunggu PPX. Gym dulu.
Kagak hujanan, gue lagi ini nih anjir, ngejemur mousepad gue. Habis gue cuci. Kemarin lengket banget.
Ini gue ngeboost mental Aron nih. Aron kan suka nge-gym nih, gue bantuin nih. Gue nge-gym. Nunggu match mulai. Kayak nenek-nenek anjing. Waduh. Kalian. Sekarang semua tempat ada tukang parkirnya, ada babi. Hari-hari keluar 5.000.
Gue bikin ini deh, gue bikin polling. Di YouTube gue bikin polling. Crit ball. Siapa nih yang menang? Map 2 Asen, PPX, NTH. Jangan PPX. Jason, Soldum.
Wadah. Kasih Eko Patrio.
Oh iya, IMY LCQ juga tadi malam seru. G2 lawan Footballis.
Iya lagi.
Itu harusnya Footballis menang bangsat 2-0. Perkara ini tau gak lo? Perkara snake bite-nya nggak kena anjir.
Patrio guys. Pokoknya temen aku tahu. Ulol anjing.
Nih, gua kasih lihat, sabar. Anjing, itu sedih banget tai. Yang IMY. Nih, kita sambil nunggu ya. Nih ya. Di round berapa ya? Di sini nih. Nih. Bukan. Mana ya? Snake bite-nya miss anjing. Wah, sedih banget asli.
Suara apa kecil, Cuk?
Nah, ini nih. Ini cuy. Ini harusnya Footballnya sudah menang 2-0 asli.
Emang ngomongnya pelan kayak gua.
Nih kan Stebern di double door kan? Iya nih. Ya Allah ini sedih banget, Blay. No, nggak tahu kemana anjing snake bite-nya.
Ini ada yang normal, ada yang
Astaga. Wah anjing.
ragu ya gua kecil.
Pedih banget tai. Kalau nggak udah menang, Blay.
Goblok. Makronya masih nyala anjing, tolol. Di YouTube.
Ini orang jago banget sih tapi Stebern. Ini orang jago banget. Nggak ngotak.
I don't know. It just seems like it was a very uninspired attacking side performance.
Oh itu sedih banget sih asli. Itu sedih banget. Itu kalau snake bite-nya kena aja nggak bisa di-diffuse. Ke delay lama nggak bakal bisa di-diffuse itu. Nggak ada waktu. Anjing, sedih banget. Itu kayak match paling sedih sih, kasihan banget.
Just horn toss skewer back as a form of initiation is absurdly good. You can play
Kita lihat
without
dia, kita sambil lihat dia, Blay.
and in the right hands, Magnus can just check a lot of bases.
Waktu itu gua
And
pernah
those are
dipalak
just
sama
ensuring that your net worth is always
Oke,
up
sepatu.
and just always having the ability to initiate or counter initiate, right? So it's incredibly valuable, especially in the hands of T1 or Alliance, by the way. S4 plays a great Magnus, so I'm a bit surprised that they didn't actually consider it here, Fogged.
Monyet, Tiny di band mulu anjing.
Opener actually, the two supports
tetap
just
banyak
like
yang
this.
ngeluarin.
Maybe they're
Iya,
really
beda.
expecting one of those like spirits that are
Jan.
really pesky, and they don't want Lion to be banned out. They want to have that hard disable for it, but I know Snapfire's been super contested, but really interesting to see them just open up with that. Because now it's your supports are not going to be frontliners. Initiation will be a little bit harder, and T1's going to be the one that just snaps picks Lina. So that feels like, I mean, I look at T1 and it just feels much more comfortable, and it feels like it just ticks more boxes in the draft overall.
Headshot di atas 25% tuh udah gokil anjir.
Heroes that you want in first phase, you should be looking at the Lina because she doesn't have any bad lane matchups. She scales into the late game. She shoves waves and can play with only 2 items, which are BOTs and BKB, and obviously built into Silver Edge, which is the DPS item of the patch. Perhaps the reasoning behind Lion is that
Asen sih menang NTH anjir. Kenapa emang Asennya imba banget?
that are slippery and just securing it early in the draft makes sure it doesn't get banned out later. Another idea behind it could be that if they are taking a fight on Vision and they have
Wah,
Vision
T1 pakai Lina lagi nih, Lina mid lagi nih kayaknya.
and when he blinks in, he'll be instantly hexed, right? So that could have been what they were looking at
Ini
here.
lo udah bracket kan?
We also saw Lion yesterday. 2 times we saw teams pick like illusion heroes into the Lion or pick like these elusive heroes into the Lion, and we're like, wow, Lion looks really good now. And we saw the mana drain like own throughout the game. He's just getting super farmed and taking out either the TB illusions or it was, I can't remember what the other one was, but either our Spectre was the other one. So
Yeah, that's typically how it works. And Lion was forgotten for a really long time up until Puck was the mid hero of the patch.
Asen Breeze Blay nextnya.
And it made Lion rise to
Kalau
popularity, right?
Peprex menang,
Storm as well.
kalau
And
Peprex
Storm has
kalah,
been an incredible hero
dia turun
this
ke
tournament, I would say.
bawah.
I doubt we'll be seeing it come out of Alliance. It's not
Ketemu
a hero,
Nocturne ya?
but it is pretty nice here. Like I look at these 2 heroes and I would like to see a Storm.
yeah, I want something that Alliance can start the fight with. That starts a fight with the Lion that you can jump in and
Win
follow
rate
up and something
NTH di
else.
Asen
Lion's gonna take some time, right, to
89%,
get
buset.
that blink dagger. So
Nggak
I want
tertarik
something
nge-vape
that's just
kok,
gonna
Blay.
naturally be able to
Kagak
go on
punya
and start
vape-nya,
the fight,
Blay.
which could be that mid hero. But it's gonna be limited.
Gue nggak tahu kalau mau beli
I
yang
did
kayak
get to
gimana.
see I got to actually cast the T1 versus Alliance in the group stages too, and they put Limp in a bad matchup because he needed to be that kind of catch and jump in, and he never got to play the game. It was a 20-minute stomp. They got Necrophos mid. He was Ember. He was trying to be the one that like lead in pre-blink daggers on his other cores, and the game never even got off the bat for them. So
I expect S4 to fill that role we were talking about of jumping in with the Lion, but I can't really think of any high damage offlaners at the moment. But that's the nice synergy of having a Snapfire as well. You can go into the Lion and you can just throw the Mortimers from a distance. Something that I get reminded of when I look at things like this is they actually they do ban out the Void. That's unfortunate because they did try this style of having Nico maybe just play Void, be the initiator, and putting
Turunnya ke bawah
something
sini ya.
long range like a sniper. And
Yang
the
atas
sniper
turun sini.
would be very good here
Oh
actually
ya, Ding.
because he outranges Lina and it forces her to buy a Blink Dagger.
But they did lose with the sniper versus T1 in the group stage too, right? They like picked it versus the
Daprex
Razor to try
sumbang
to
sih harusnya ke bawah.
counteract it, and
Belum tentu Blay.
Limp got ran down by an ET the entire game with Zephyr
Mungkin
chasing
lah,
it. So
LCQ
I mean,
bentrok
it's
sama
definitely a
TI
good
sih.
pick here. Just like that might be like this bad memory inside of Limp's mind where he's like, maybe give me something else there. So we're seeing a very team, team-specific bans coming out, and it is going to be the Ember. So I felt like this was going to be forced, but now it's like into this matchup versus the Lina. I'm a little worried already off the bat from Limp. Because I saw this the other day. I saw this in the group stages. It was a worse matchup versus
Besok
Sacrifice,
OG Team Spirit.
Is it maybe? Maybe Lina's even worse. Sure, in the mid game you can do something about it because Lina's squishy, but
VG, EG Secret. EG Secret nih upper bracket ya? Lower bracket, upper bracket. Upper bracket, lower bracket, lower bracket, lower bracket. Mulai. Refresh lu.
It's going to be a Sky and
Mulai lang.
This is definitely going to be a very big clash of playstyles here. I
kenapa,
want to see Paper Rex do
more
play on that defensive side. I want to see them once more recreate that same inspired attacking performance that they had, in past. But this might exactly be the key to it. Those setups like you mentioned, Paper from Forsaken. They were a lot. They were very helpful to setting up the attack from their team yesterday, whether it was
biarin lah handphone aja.
and then pop flashing right on top of a double peak. The KO just does so much, especially on maps like Ascent, and I'm hoping Paper Rex they use it to full utility.
Well, we'll see how they fare. I mean, this is also going to be a little bit of a new look, at least for this event. I should clarify.
Mansen.
For Paper Rex, because they did play a set before, but they're going with a different composition setup. We're going to be seeing Defy play the Sova now, as well as Jing moving over to that Jet. So let's see if he can deliver. He's got a lot to live up to with Soldom up on that other side. Well, guys, the game is just about ready to start, so we're going to go ahead and throw it back over to our casters to get us.
Wow, so Icebox, not the map for Paper Rex, and I can already feel Achilleos kind of just, dangling it in front of us. It's okay. We'll come back on the second map for Paper Rex here. We'll see. Anyways, my name is Asher. With me now is Ender, and this Ascent map looking to be maybe the final nail in the coffin here for Northeption to keep them here in the upper bracket. This other team down to the lower brackets, and we'll see if that's going to be the case. But what do you think, Ender?
Hey, I mean, we'll have to wait and find out because Northeption looked real good on a Paper Rex, that first map, let's just forget about it. Let's move on into the Ascent. For them, I think that's the important thing, of course. Early on, it did look very strong for them, but I think both teams actually really struggled to find headroom when they were attacking, not really spreading out, playing the map. There was a lot of challenges when it came to actually taking sites. Didn't have a lot of great utility, especially late in rounds, to make that happen. So we'll see whether or not Northeption can have a more successful defensive or attacking half here on Ascent. Jing with the signature Paper X defensive aggression is going to walk up mid, but get taken down pretty quickly there by Soldom. And you can see that with the early rotations over, right? Like Paper X think that it's going to be probably an A split hit walking up Cat after you get that initial pick in mid, but Northeption are so incredibly slow. We saw them do this exact same thing when they faced off against F4Q, and F4Q just kept pushing into him, it looked real bad from them. But Northeption now, with the time they've given on over, you see Paper X playing the map just a little bit more. They've taken so much space out of A, so they should know pretty much effectively that it's going to be a B hit, either all through B or split through mid, and that's exactly what they're going to find out right now as Mindfreak peeks top mid and realizes, hey, there's no one even in mid, pushed up towards market.
Wow, Defy can't find anything because of that cloud burst. That's not definitely what he wanted to happen. It's all going to be left onto Forsaken and Mindfreak. Soldom clears out the back of the site, but it's all into the hands of Northeption now. Forsaken's going to be stopped a little bit by the turret, and it's an uphill battle here Ender, Mind Freak's gonna be
gimana nih lang? Bisa nggak lang Asen lang?
Flash to clear it out, but again, it's all the
Bisa nggak nih Asen? Katanya NTH win rate Asen 89%.
And bodies to throw all the way to the side. And Forsaken as well as Mind Freak, they gotta be cracked on their aims. Flashes to come through. That's gonna be a couple of targets already. They're jumping up and down. Can he find a second? Not really gonna be the case. And Mind Freak, well, all he can really hope for now is the exit frag. Nope, Soldum denies him, picks up the 3.
Good start to the map right there for Northception, especially winning around on attack. Again, not the easiest thing in the world if you're coming over from Icebox. But again, we're seeing very similar things to how Northception do like to play the game. And I think that one of the strengths of
Soldamnya ngamuk cuy.
in a coordinated
Udah nelpon Lisa Blackpink.
On defense. That time it was just a push through mid solo by Jing, so he did get punished. But we'll see how they end up changing things in the future, because Northception are not quick to abandon their their default setups.
Mansen yang pengen game seru.
Just have a couple players set up over by A. No shorties for anything to play with, and Soldom is going to come flying in there with the judge. Still a lot of damage with just the classics on the defenders.
Bingung aja jadi observer sih.
Excuse me? That was a hell of a lot of damage. My goodness. Still though, Reception successful to take on to the A site. Peeking out here. He's heard the footsteps. That's going to be a double stack for Reception, and they knew exactly what was going to be coming. And yeah, Judge, a little bit more expensive than the Spectre. Save it up, and Soldum make some cases in being able to take sites with it.
Yeah, I mean, just flying on up there. You know, I feel like the jet boost into like dash play with the shotgun.
Nembak tembok dapat temen.
A lot this map, because you can go over that switch boathouse, right, and dash on over that, sort of use the momentum off of the slanted ceiling there, the slanted roof, to really come and pop back on site, really unexpected. But hey, he makes it happen even on A. That's only going to be an eco play when you know they're playing those close angles. If there can be people backside or up heaven, definitely not the...
Soldamnya udah main jet doang nih anjing.
Setting up, gonna use the sky
jet lala
all the way back, get the info that no one's gonna be pushed into Wine Cellar. Blinded, you hear them say when that one happens, and there'll be another A hit pretty quickly here for them.
Forsaken immediately throws out his molly just to make sure that nobody is going to be rushing in.
Wah, itu nggak ada kena anjing, Ben, guys.
Still though, Soldum is already.
Kayak crosshair ke arah musuh semua tadi tuh. Waduh, lu lihat no, ngejudge-nya.
He gets kills through the smoke. What is this? Is he like a bomb sniffing dog or a bomb sniffing dog?
Sebenarnya lo bisa sakit hati ya kalau orang yang alay kayak main judge gitu tai. Daripada sama orang yang jago.
The last blow. That's gonna be 3 quick consecutive rounds.
Lu udah kalah kalau sama yang main alay itu, lu udah kalah dengan skill tadi. Apa sih ini orang gitu masih
I've never heard of a bomb sniffing dog that knows how to operate a shotgun, and definitely not to the success of Soldom's right there.
I have no idea where I picked that up.
Oh man, that was nasty stuff. I think a couple of those kills he was just getting sort of spamming through the smoke, expecting some players to be there. There maybe been a couple of rifles invested to from Northception, but for the most part there, that was carrying over.
Kita nggak main aja ngelihat si Soldom.
They had in round
gitu kesel aja gimana yang main.
Not gonna feel great after that. A Marshall in the hands of Jing could find a pick over towards mid, but again, now Northception just going back to a bit of a default setup. They've had 2 quick A hits. So let's slow things down, and at the same time, PaperX take a lot of space up towards B main. What's Forsaken doing here? Got utility out in his hands. If someone walked around the corner, he'd, well, not have a whole lot of fun. I think they have a camera to try and spot out that corner. Maybe can throw a flash and get the swing on through from that one, but their A side is going to be very light when this hit does end up coming through.
I think Northception knew exactly what to do with that one. Yeah, there it is. That's going to be the dog. That's going to be the drone. Up above, down below, there's nothing that's going to be left to the imagination. On the site, Jing takes down 10 as I think that recon kind of made Northception flinch a little bit to check it out and take it down. Still though, it's going to be quite difficult to Soldum. Oh yeah, he's back with it, baby.
Look at the fight for Mind Freak. I thought that was going to work out because the Killjoy died, the alarm bot that was watching the walk on through there wasn't going to be there. Soldum still goes for it. Oh my god. At some point you have to ask, is this the right play? But he doesn't care. But it works every time and pushing through that smoke up in heaven.
Forsaken tries to be a bit sneaky.
Dia bikin masuk A-nya enak banget lang. Ya tinggal ngejaga judge-nya juga enak anjir.
There's just nothing that they can do wrong. Still has 0 kills. But
That's
he's
why
5 assists.
they
And
always
it
go
really
A.
shows how
Biar
much
si Kadal
control
tuh
he
bisa
has
ke
even without
heaven
getting
gitu,
a
anjing.
single knockout. That double initiator play just to get into the sights with a Trailblazer plus the Sova drone, it really forces Paper Rex in precarious situation. They just cannot adapt to it. It just is that difficult. I mean, I believe Paper Thin also mentioned that, you know, with this particular KO pick for Forsaken, there's going to be a lot more zone control than what we saw with Full Sense when PTC was using it, but it's kind of non-existent here. Northeption, they have such a good control that they're able to spread out, but also at the same time,
Kontrol mid-nya juga enak banget.
Together as an entire squad, and it really confuses, I think, how Paper Rex wants to approach this.
What the
they have a tripwire mid, yet they're still playing 3 people there, and it's Northeption getting the kills. As a matter of fact, this single
kayak ke bawah nih lang.
wasn't even with the rifle. It was Forsaken dropping down a little frag grenade there and getting some damage done with it on towards Soldum. So very confusing stuff. Mind Freak is going to find exactly where Sugar Zero is hiding with the shot, with the rifle right behind them.
He's trying to do a party trick, man. Benkai, okay.
Anjing ini nggak di-upgrade nih,
Phantom doesn't get that one-hit headshot at that range, but he controls the spray and he's gonna be all right for it.
Kayak punyanya ini anjing booster nggak di-upgrade.
The rest of Northeption will be pushing in onto the B side. Yep, that's gonna be it. And Benkai, whether he either wanted to save or maybe just wanted to defend A, regardless, he's not gonna be able to win this and probably just gonna have to take that.
Bray, siapa sih Bray?
Main Freak beng-bengnya mana?
Really, I mean, stark contrast to the start of this game, to that of Icebox, where PaperX won the first 10 of 12 rounds, and I mean, it comes off of losing a full bonus from Northeption in round number 3, now not being able to find really any form of a defensive hold, just straight up not being able to find the kills in mid, right? You've got so many players there, not being able to trade off one another, and even then, I find the setup a little bit dubious. Trying to play aggressively there instead of playing maybe a little bit further back, use the information of the wires to sort of lock down these sites, because it does seem like a lot of what PaperX have done is that aggressive push either through mid, through B main a couple times, A as well, and Northeption with how they've been playing things slow, waiting for some information, and then exploding late in the rounds. It's been very effective at shutting down the overall strategy from PaperX on this.
Duitnya juga suram lang.
Whatever map control Paper wants to take, they just lose it as soon as they try to fight for it. And this kind of leaves them in
let armor
where they always kind of drop teammates as at the start of the round. And this gives even more options for Northeption to kind of manage moving forward. Soldum now into the 6th round has his blades right back up. We are going to be on in a quick little timeout. Paper Rex kind of recognizing that they need to
tim dari mana? Korea, Jepang.
Understand and slow the pace.
KRJP.
A quick little break, a quick little timeout might be able to help that, especially now that they're going to be on their bye round. And at least moving forward into this one, I don't know how they're going to be able to well utilize Forsaken here, because again, this is the only outlier pick that I've seen. They have used this in other tournaments. That's not the APAC LCQ that was as of recent, and they did make it work. But the thing is, caliber of the team, they're vastly different from this one, because this is Northeption and they're one of the strongest teams Korea has to offer. So I don't know what's the adjustment for this KO, but it has to be something, because I feel like this is the thing that's going to be Lynch to maybe start Paper Rex in that W.
It's been Northeption, the sole remaining representative of.
Nelpon siapa nih? Oh iya, Peprek nelpon siapa ya kalau time out ya? Nelpon Deddy Kobuzer, Blay. Nelpon Om Deddy, Blay, dia Blay. Mentalnya dinaikin dulu nih sama Om Deddy, lo lihat nih ya. Bah. Udah, ini close the door nih. Peprek langsung.
Right, like now playing B side is a little bit more challenging, and you can see Benkai actually backing away, not wanting to play stairs, instead going all the way back over towards defender spawn. This will end up turning into an A split here, and it's going to come down to Jing, whether or not he can hold the line in Tree Room, because Forsaken's going to get pushed off this angle very quickly. Probably just have to pop the ultimate and remove the flashes, and if Northeption take too much longer, and Forsaken backs away here, I think that's got to be...
Wah, Jason.
Cannot get traded out here if you're Forsaken, though. You have the tools to shut down a utility, and he falls.
Jing's gonna have to come big on the short here. Divide. Oh, he risked his life through the molly just to maybe catch off the rest of Northeption there, but it just does not work. There needs to be a point man for Forsaken. He just cannot guess the right-click flash from his KO's utility, or else it's just gonna be all for naught. Yeah, it's gonna be Mindfree coming in through short, spotted out by the alarm bots. Benkai also taken out again by this Sova drone. Nothing left to the imagination of Northeption, and whatever PaperX try to do on their defense, it's all being read, it's all being televised for Northeption, and there's just nothing. It's really, I would say, frustrating now for PaperX, because everything they try to do, it seems like Northeption is one step ahead of them.
Yeah, and even if you remove the volatility of like, oh, unlucky timing, I had my pop flash out and they swung on me, you have to think like,
bulu hidung gua offset nih bangsat.
You swing around the corner, you get one kill. You're still getting swarmed, right? You're still not being put in a position where you can actually shut down the site take, and I feel like with access to the ultimate, maybe a knife coming up shortly as well there, like, if you can just turn off Sky's ability to flash the site, you punish Northeption's patience in rounds. Like, Northeption are literally playing like tortoises. They take all the time in the world, right?
Wow, di live chat gua ada hater PaperX anjing. Yes, PaperX mampus. Forsaken make jet juga lebih bagus Soldam. Tie bang.
Coba lu yang main. Sampai sini juga belum tentu.
What's this about? Triple peek onto A main as they
berantemin tuh Blay, buset.
Northeption able to kind of feel it out a little bit, try to...
Woi, mana ini bucil-bucil PaperX? Masa digituin, Blay? Kasih tahu, Blay.
Net of safety, Estelle activates the dog, the Trailblazer to spot out one. He does take a...
Di bawah ada siapa aja ya?
Onto Forsaken and
Boom, IG5, Nocturne.
Some of his Cypher traps. He's going to be lining up a couple more, and he's slowly backing away onto the site itself. Soldom's going to be dashing right in, and he opens the door. Okay, he's going to be opening the door there. That can actually be something that they can use, but there is going to be two onto the side. Soldom still into cover. Mindfree spots out a couple. Okay, that's going to be good now. Sugar Zero still lurking onto B.
Dikasih makan Soldom.
It's all up to Soldom to get the kills that he needs. He still has all of what he can use. Really good ammunition on his weapon. Forsaken's clearing it out. There's going to be one. There's going to be the other. That's perfect timing for Northeption. That was making me a bit sweat, but they still take it in the end.
I mean, it's almost comical.
Pikir sendiri-sendiri.
Because Sugar Zero did not want to B main. Sugar Zero wanted to lure all the way up through mid, but because PaperX's defense actually worked out this time, the cut down 3 players, Sugar Zero had to actually change the plan and come back. No one ever expects the Astra to
di pin-chat, Cuk.
Seconds after
no. Buya.live/channel/Mansen. Sini. Di Buya bisa dapat voucher Grab, voucher pulsa. Tanggal 13 nih. Minimal nonton 25 menit.
Tapi lowernya juga sakit-sakit aja.
I guess Forsaken was trying to hold the angle for them, but PaperX turning on some of that signature aggression to try and find
on progress Blay frame. Wait, Jan, thank you Jan.
Well, if you can't outmaneuver them, better out-aim them. Forsaken, well, he's not going to be able to get the refrag as Mindfreak tries to get that peek out. Double stack once again for Northeption. And also the same with the Divine Forsaken. Okay, so whoever gets the ansiest,
Lang, mungkin 13-0 kan nih Lang.
Loses straight up. While there is other two members of Northeption who's going to be holding mid, Spike was dropped down somewhere up the top of that. And I'm wondering where Sugar Zero is now going to be able to bring this all the way around as 10 plus his team have been spotted. Forsaken Blades baited.
Nah, harus digituin Blay biar menang. Nah, nggak jadi 13-0.
But they're still pushing in on through. It's last onto Sugar
Zero. Harus sih. Harus digalakin. Harus ada operator, cu. Bener, cu. Harus ada operator, cu. Nyolong satu, bingung ntar mau ngapain. Harus begini mainnya, cu. 13-1 kan nih Lang? Nggak mungkin, jadi nggak mungkin satu nambah ya. Oke. Ulang. Skema Lang. Lang. 13-1 kan hilang.
Bisa sih Sen lihat.
Cakep. Gue mau klaim kok harus login FF. Itu berarti lu dapat skin FF. Kalau yang dapat voucher nggak harus ngelink kok.
Will they be able to replicate that? That's a great question. And they're going to do the exact same play once again. So just so much space taken up through.
Wow, Soldam udah main retard nih, Blay.
Gila, dua-duanya dikenain sama trap babi.
Oh, there's going to be a big ultimate. Let's see if the Vi can slow the pace down. Jing has gone and just went straight near them with the operator and loses his life for a trade. Well, he was trying to go for fadeaway shots, but when you have more bullets on that Vandal, you can do it much, much better. Still, though, they stopped the pace for Northeption to take the site. Northeption used a whole chunk of utility here, and they're just to maybe set things up, but that's not going to happen anymore. So what's the rebuttal? What's the adjustment? A little bit of that is to stay with 3 people on A main. Maybe somebody gets a little bit antsy again from Paper Rex here. They can open up the site. And a little bit of a while ago, May was looking on to short. But now, seems like with 40 seconds, yeah, they still do have that KJ ultimate. A is still the site to take.
Yeah, they still have to worry about... Forsaken's got a position here. He's gonna have to fall back up.
Nice.
Mind Freak comes around and he gets 2 kills. They're just not pushing out on the side.
Lihat gak sih guys?
Harus diginiin lang, bener lang.
Lihat gak sih guys? Nggak mungkin menang. Ya kali.
18 seconds
kali menang. Salah. Kayaknya kalah deh. Harusnya gue gituin ya.
Iya, harusnya lo gituin lang.
Kayaknya kalah nih. Pepresnya kalah satuan dulu guys. Pasti menang lihat ya kebalikannya.
That Molly delays it just a little bit. Here's the drop down, but had to commit the spike from being well planted. And that's gonna be where Forsaken and his teammate can find that round once again. Paper Rex, they're slowly picking things up, but up until when? Again.
Itu cuma loginnya pakai akun Google atau nggak FB, soalnya kan itu random, lu bisa dapat loot crate FF atau juga grab voucher dan lain-lain. Ya, betul.
Only catches maybe once or twice. This is the 3rd time. We'll see if
Lang, 13-2 kan nih, Lang?
Kayak bisa sih,
Kita udah try hard banget nih demi Paper Rex nih.
Kita push nih.
Hari kebalikan ya. That's almost exactly horizontal right there.
Di rewind anjing ya,
great tags. I think Dubai got 1 kill, maybe an extra tag or 2 on some extra players, and that really shut down the entire site take from Northeption, right? They had the Sky ultimate, but they didn't really have like the smoke lineups or the flashes to rust out onto the site, and Mind Freak even wasn't cleared out from back in Hell. This time though, Paper X with a different setup. Operator's gonna be posted on B main and use that Sky Flash just to try and clear the corner, but you'll notice a lot of the Sky Flashes not being used to actually get onto the site, instead just to fake out, gain some space on their own accord.
Waduh.
This push up market has been devastating, but Forsaken somehow comes
Nice one.
No fear, Forsaken was smoked out, but he still went for the challenge, slowing the pace even further for Northeption here, and Estelle is the only one to remain. I was a little bit concerned about Jing there. He was full flash, was still pushing onto B, but I mean, it still worked out in the end. Estelle's gotta have to dig deep into this one.
Kayak Astel nggak clutch nih, Bang.
Being trapped in ever so slightly. Finally spotted. That Star's not going to find anything anymore. The Cypher Cam still keeping Estelle right into the sights of Paper Rex. The spike is in his hands. He has 40 seconds. If he wants to, he can just push in or go into the other side. Spray control will not matter. He's going to reload and out in the open. Gobbles up that kill. 7-3. Paper Rex slowly but surely are starting to stack up.
Lang, ini bisa 13-3 nggak sih, Lang?
Into their favor. More and more.
Cakep. Terus.
Kayak bisa deh, Sen. Ini entah jago banget, attackernya.
Parah anjing, entah jago banget, Tay. Gila.
Peprex oke anjing, dapet 3 cok. Ya kan, Sen?
Iya, harusnya mah 1 kalau 0 ya.
Sama 1 cok.
Bang, main FF nggak, Bang? Main Rian. Iya. Main bapak lu.
You need your initiator there with the rest of the team. Because they didn't actually utilize that, it didn't work for them. Although this time, 3rd time is not the charm for Jing. With that aggressive cat,
teori pesimis
completely shut it down.
That was unfortunate because he wanted Forsaken to be there, but he was preoccupied by destroying that recon dart, and Jing still pushed through. Now Mindfreak,
aduh nggak boleh berlebihan ternyata guys.
any regard for his own life, tries to go and peek through, even though there was a turret that was marking him, and 10 was not far behind from following up with his own utility. Now with a lot of the members of Paper Rex getting tagged down slowly but surely, and Northeption getting some forward map control onto mid, this seems like a perfect time for Northeption to make their move onto the B site. Yes, there's going to be at least a buy there, but he's going to get pinched, and this is not good. Mindfreak could maybe go for that crossfire, but this is a tall task for Divide. There's going to be it. That's going to be the dog spotting out one. May immediately dispenses onto Mindfreak, and Divide, he's rotated, but he can't really go through the smoke. Okay, he does, but doesn't find anybody.
Yeah, you don't want to push on forward there. At best, it's a 1-for-1.
Oh.
The team isn't there to try and help you on the retake. I'm not even convinced that
Masih ada Hero Sky
and play for this one. Right? You, 3 versus 5, you probably don't have the money to invest.
Woi babi malah beneran.
Instead, they're going to back away from here and actually be pretty content.
Lagi.
Out both the Hunter's Fury.
Tadi kayak kecepatannya kita ngomongnya.
Cepetan tadi. Bad timing. Sama gua terlalu banyak.
Paper Rex are going to go into that final round and try to put one more on the board.
Pulling them in.
Might be looking to hopefully get this half into that 9-3 perspective. You've seen the 9-3 curse happen, but it's just something a little bit more different as Northeption is looking as sharp as can be. Oh, this is going to be difficult. They're all looking at the spawn, but there's like 2 members of Northeption coming in from A main. I'm not going to be chasing down that kill. Doesn't want to give charges to Forsaken and Benkai. Now that Benkai does have that Cosmic Divide, I think as you were mentioning, Forsaken just a tad bit off from his null command. Last round into the half, and this Paper Rex with the 2 that they've saved have enough money to actually buy back up. Are they going to be equipping Jing with the operator? Yes, they will. Question again,
bisa sih.
Is he going to push on the choice? Because I think by now, Northeption knew about that shenanigans, and they have a pretty understanding way of how to deal with it.
Alright, well, some tripwires deep on site here over by A. Northeption playing their default once again. Just getting out a lot of utility there with the drone and whatnot. Here's the thing though, Northeption are playing exceptionally slow, but not really taking much space at all. Sugar Zero is over by the bookshop, and the Sky Flash once again to clear back towards Wine. Still just 1 charge away from Seeker, so if he puts the spike on the ground, he can get that for himself.
Ini gua casting Sunda nih. Tenang nih.
I don't think Northeption have been able to
ya guys, di sini ya.
exactly where the cipher
Ternyata
is.
si NTHT punya ulti, guys.
Cicahem, Ciberut.
Cipher might be away from that.
Si Dapai teh nyari info nih. Dapai nyari info di MN guys. Salah di MN. Si Ten nyari naruh turret dulu tah, biar nggak dibokong ceritanya mah ya. Nah di Daron sama si Mei di ulti. Ini Dapai punya line up guys. Alas ya,
Moy.
Alas ya, salah cok. Alas ya salah, Kumaya salah. Alas ya Kumaya tas si Jing salah kades guys, kadon kaharet.
Eda bujuk kicaem.
Si Zelda sekali guys dapat market si Zelda.
That Molly will at least keep the rest
of dapat market, dapat 2, tapi di trade sama si Lil Jaka. Lil Jaka bersama Davai. Kumaya, menang mal ya.
Itu kemana?
Satu dua dapat nah Lil Jaka kita boy. Si Mei sorangan si Mei boga soknar tapi dipakai mal ya. Alas ya eta si Davai lompat we di is goblok, tapi si Mei iya kudu meninggal di tangan Davai guys, berhasil mengobrak mabrik keluarga dari Jepang dan Korea di sini Paper Rex guys. Woo!
You know, I don't quite know what to say after Paper Rex went around like that, missing the lineups on the shock dart to break the lockdown. I think also Jing updraft dashed into the lockdown with an operator on the jet and immediately was shut down. There was a lot of things that were going on.
Anjing jadi menang jadi pengen lagi kan.
I guess they all according to plan for themselves. Northeption punished on that sort of trapped on the B side, but that That was wild. I will say that.
San ini bisa 13-4 gak sih, San?
Bisa banget, Lang.
Okay from here on out. You can see the setup.
Bisa banget nih, parah nih.
Defense, some of the cipher trips that were holding down mid when the roles were reversed. You just have that alarm bot to make sure no one can lurk up that site. And I think the one thing that Northeption rarely does.
Aya naon atuh si Jing euy. Cicaheum cium lit.
He'll be the solo tiles player. And a couple more are going to help him push down over towards Cat for a split.
Tingali si Astel teh support player pisan kabeh meuli armor guys.
Exploded to this one.
Tadi dia teh
immediately.
Aing teh susu.
Di recon tah. Di icep-icep si Selda make digen tapi musuhnya di heaven mantap kali. Satu family di sini berhasil membunuh satu guys. Si Jing eta turun ke handap musuhnya dari heaven semuanya guys. Kita lihat ini PaperX harusnya tidak mungkin kalah ya. 5 lawan 3. Dicokdat, alas ya meninggal. PaperX masih 3 lawan 2.
Waduh.
Lawan 2 sekarang, aduh tak kabur momen. Jangan sampai iya disokdar deh. Anjing, 3 HP.
And this is big because the Vice down to 3 with that huge stock start. As you mentioned, there's the jump up from 10. Oh no, he's up above. That's terrible. It's horrible.
Aduh. Alas ya boy. Cicaheum.
From that. I mean, May's just getting shock dart kills right there. Got one shock dart kill in
Karena Roblox ya guys, itu berhasil deui.
5 lawan 3 deui. Cium lit aing teh macan.
Ini si Zokdarnya si Bangsat ini kena tercok.
And yet we're still
anjing.
From A main.
Ada aja yang orang di situ
until those players fall out of heaven. Then you have the perfect crossfire. You're shooting at them from both different directions. You have a player on the side from a 90-degree angle as well.
Dia pakai shock dart, nggak pakai feeling baik kalau ngeliat di mata dia. Kalau ada orang bareng shock dart.
They're defaulting back into individual play, trying to play on their own, and they are getting punished for it against Northeption.
Placing swarm grenade.
That's the bad thing, right? It's again we praise PaperX for being a very aggressive team that follows it up with good communication and teamwork. In the sense that they can, set up utilities.
Gua pengen game seru nih, Lang.
Stuff like that.
Nah, ini Mansen udah mancing guys.
They're looking for the individual kills first and then the communication to come through, which is not really what they probably want.
Lu lihat shock dart lagi noh.
Forcing their wills onto a short. Jing is gonna get caught here. He's gonna look to maybe fend off the rest with a classic in hand, but 10 immediately silences Forsaken as well as Jing, and we're kind of back in this same predicament. But now, Northeption, they have every weapon that they would want. Nice little slow drop down there from Soldem, the rest follow through. An almost flawless, but losing Estelle is good. It's fine for them because they still take the round.
Aduh.
4K on the round, and I'll remind you, 10's Killjoy is
ini bagus banget sih entah ini di Ascent anjing.
When it comes to locking down a site on Ascent, 18 kills, and most of those of course going to come from the attacking half. We don't talk about Estelle. Estelle is, he's going to be cheering on the rest of the team with his hawks and animals. It's like sort of like bringing a dog with you, to a cafe or something. It just makes you happy. You go see your friend, you get a pet or something like that. You're gonna definitely feel better after that one. PaperX now have some rifles to fight back against North.
Habis ini boom lawan apa sih? Kok gue lupa? Buset.
Sorry, Jing rather taking some space up towards mid. The alarm bot will alert Northeption of exactly what PaperX is trying to do here.
There was a delayed camera there to get some information onto B main. It gives them
kagak jelas banget di sofa anjing.
Because now there's no more Killjoy there to double stack onto main. They actually come back. Stell picks up Ben Kai. This is rather unfortunate because now PaperX, they're looking onto B site, hoping that there's going to be opponents there, but really finding nothing at all. It was incredibly low, and now he's dropped down the spike. PaperX has to fight for this, but the crossfire is there. The Vi knows, but he cannot push into it. Very afraid of what could be happening. But PaperX, they actually still have time to just play this as slow as can be methodical, because now they've basically lost control. Versus 3, and there still is that magnificent crossfire that I think Northeption are making happen. Ultimate from 10 is all but available, and And what is Jing doing? He's going to be looking for the delayed flank. Estelle is marking that. He has to win this fight, and maybe, just maybe, they can still win this.
Wah, Jing. Gua kena pala tuh.
With the Spectre, but in the end, the buy wins true.
Oh ya, belum lawan DAMWON.
Risky for Paper X. They survive.
Buset, itu apalan, apalan tuh gue liat-liat tadi anjing nembusin sheriffnya.
In that round, right? And it's because Northeption aren't playing around the spike entirely. They sort of gave up on the crossfire. 10 was playing over towards B main, had enough for the lockdown in the third round. He's like, I want to use it. Well, then he loses the 1 versus 1. All of a sudden, that gives time for Jing to make that flank all the way back through spawn. Jing also wins that 1 versus 1. So it's Paper X, the individual, showing up right there. They're able to make that round work out for themselves. Northeption still up 10-5 in this, and I mean, Soldom's playing that close angle, but it does feel like there's a lot of tools for Paper X to try and clear that one out. The Sova and the KO, if they end up committing over towards this A site. But I sort of like the way Paper X are
Aduh, shortnya udah ngejudge anjing.
Exactly that alarm bot does get placed. Jing is just going to push up there and destroy that. And because the Hawk is used in mid, it gives fake information, right? It says no one's there.
Kunaon iya aing teh macan.
I want to try and wait here, right? We can make up our minds whether or not we want to hit B or A, and it does look like with the spikes positioning, it will end up being that A hit.
No smokes on mid though. They can't just really go about this, can they? But Jing actually goes through. Unfortunately, his spray's not going to find a mark. The only one who was on the B side is Sugar Zero's already knocked up. Soldum sneaking his way on through market here. And he does have his classic out, but the more he gets into that CQC, the more he's going to be bringing out the judge. One is going to be holding on, which is going to be
Tiga inisiator aneh nggak sih, Blay? Yang mana tiga inisiator?
3 people in market, and even May, who's right behind him, that's going to take him off the board. Forsaken holding the angle on B main, and with that recon dart, he's all but been exposed, and this leaves him in a numbers discrepancies, being cleared out with the rest of Northeption, and this separates him from the rest of his teammates. This is not looking too good, but at least there's 3 of them. Down from 10 to take down from May, and to Forsaken, who can't really do much, especially with the Spectre, especially at that range.
Wah gila. Tadi skema dia mau ngambil B-mainnya gokil lang ya.
Iya anjing, udah keren.
Smoke ngedash flash keluar dari smoke anjing. Bisa begitu loh. Ini mereka udah berak bareng kali ya NTH ya.
Iya, berak bareng, sepatu bareng kayak zaman RRQ dulu.
Iya anjing, berak bareng, mandi bareng, pacaran bareng. Buset. Kagak ada next map lagi nih, kalah coy.
NTH jago banget. Ini alter ego pada zamannya, Cok. Nonton ini kayak nonton alter ego pada zamannya, teman.
Retake alter ego.
Iya anjing.
Northeption, they evolved, or maybe they just, turn on the switch and they're back to their full potential. James just right in, no care anymore, just because again they have to just rush in through this, make use of the utilities that they had. Sugar Zero, a little bit caught inside the smoke.
Strategi pasrah nih.
The double happy birthday. Can he actually blow the candle?
Ayo jangan kayak bukan aja.
2 lawan 3, 2 orang sekarat.
Has to go through this. The cosmic divide separates them for just a
kadal.
tiny bit, and that will give some information. They're double stacking. They're coming in. Now it's all about guessing left or right, but the crossfires from Paper X is being set up. And if it's still the same as last time, it might not be enough, but we'll see how that goes. They still have some time to wait for the divide wall to go down before they start moving in.
Tapi dia terbang.
Time is starting to
Seldam di sini. Korean Jet masih
all these angles. Look at the way Northeption are playing over there.
Hampir di frame transfer, namun Damai berhasil menutup Rono.
Paper X are waiting there too.
Sini,
that same spot, shut that one down, secure the round for themselves.
Kalah keluar.
For Paper X, they've got to continue stringing these together for the squad, and it's not going to be any easier the further we go on in this game.
Hujan gede juga nih.
They have reset Northeption. They can press tab and see that the crowd
ke lower, ketemu antara Boom sama DAMWON.
Hoping for nice little, teddy bear there, just to give a little bit of comfort for those.
Ayo Paper X menang, T1 menang. Yoi.
But yeah, just to kind of finish off what I was talking about. It might be at least a few more rounds for Paper X, but they have to be careful because it seems like Northeption, fifth 5-stack. I was gonna say maybe quadra, but no, this is everything that they had except the kitchen sink. This is gonna be pure pandemonium, but they are coming out of this.
5 lawan 5 mid only anjing bang.
What is gonna be happening? The flash from Forsaken, quick trigger, spots out where that triangulation from the shock dart comes from and ends the life of May, but still in the end.
Terakhir serem banget. Nih pakai WH bego NTH.
As they got caught.
Brawl mode anjing B only
Cheat nih anjing.
Wow.
The triangulation, he's out here doing trigonometry on the sofa, trying to line up all of those shots, all the shock darts, and make it happen.
Yeah. Stream snipe kali ya?
Like it's just bullet hell and B main.
Dapat ambil live stream ya?
Let's fight, you know. Tactics be gone. We're just gonna full send it one after another. I like the gusto from the teams. We'll see what PaperX can continue to do here for themselves. They got Hunter's Fury to work with. That's gonna be the big ultimate in this round. And I actually love this play from Estelle. I think more teams actually need to pop that that wall in tree room and shoot that down early. It's just such an effective tool when you're attacking after you plant the spike, and you can sort of lock off that area, waste some bullets, get some information of a player. I like that adaptation there from Reception.
Yeah, and when people start coming in from A, you can actually spray from tree all the way through that A main entrance, and if you're lucky enough, you can get a kill. Maybe even 2, maybe in 3. And it has happened multiple times, even in competitive tournaments. So it's a good thing to do. Now, well, PaperX, they've kind of abandoned that idea. Oh,
that gets ult off the orb, and they can just hit this site. All of a sudden, Killjoy doesn't have a utility. She's revealed on the site. It feels bad, man, for 10, and Forsaken's gonna run on through.
I know exactly where.
Arg, and it's gonna rummage through on this Sugar Zero, as well as his teammate Estelle coming in from the crossfire. And Spike has yet to get planted. They are not in a comfortable spot to actually make this. There's like 4 people in the back of the site, and they still don't want to do anything other than Devi is going to be ripping out his ultimate for the moment. Tags a couple. That's going to be the shock start. Let's see if it's going to find a mark, and it does. May sit.
Anjing, Soldem kemana tuh?
Devi still holding on with the rest. Forsaken's blind at the back of the side. That's going to be Mind Freak, who's going to be holding the stairs. And
wah, bisa hilang.
Leg day for him as he takes down a
San. Comeback. Emang lu dong comeback katanya kan?
To match point 11-8.
Yo, what's going on? These maps are exciting. You know, just when you think, oh man, a blowout.
Nice little
I was expecting this game to be close, you know, whatever. No, the losing team turns it on and puts on for us. 11-8 now. PaperX continuing to battle back, stringing together some great ultimates there. Forsaken even just 1 point away.
Bisa yo guys.
With some good early scouting, PaperX were able to figure out who was playing on the B site and make sure they could get no command to take into the KJ and make her life absolutely miserable. Now just a couple of marshals here for North, a shotgun for Estelle as well, and a 4-stack that PaperX could move into very quickly. Again, not much of a split play over towards A main, 4 in B main, and just this Cypher lurking on through mid, and they just leave. I guess it's the same play.
Langsung rotate anjing semuanya.
Switch there over towards.
Ini WH bego sudah.
PaperX just get it and get on out.
I thought it was only going to be Soldem who actually has equipped that Marshal. There's actually multiple people, but now PaperX, I think they're starting to vibe a little bit more here. Whatever challenges may come through, it seems like they're prepared for it. Although, granted, of course, Reception is on a weaker buy. Still, this is going to be something in Forsaken. Flash, that was a beautiful repeat. And Soldem finds a kill. Oh no, he picks up a Vandal. Picks that one up. 3 versus 3. They're all not on the side. Oh, Devi is all... Exactly. Okay. Wait, hold on. Soldem is looking at it though, and he gets demolished by Devi. That is huge.
Nice.
Now Devi comes in, spots out another. Benkai's gonna be helping him out, and Estelle with the Marshal.
Aduh,
he's gonna be that one. He's gonna be
satu hit lagi pula.
Aduh, Benkai karat lagi.
Yeah.
Already been brought back up. Pick up a better weapon. Flash onto the site just for safety. 60 versus 49. This is very much workable, and on a weaker buy, on a save buy, Northception is making it happen. Benkai. Oh, who's gonna peek? Oh, it's gonna be crucial.
Benkai.
I mean, 10 HP separating that from a win.
Begini dong nih, gue suka nih game seru nih.
Ini gue suka nih game seru nih.
Gue suka nih.
Mansen ngomong game seru, dikasih lagi game seru anjing.
Estelle especially showing up with a couple of Marshall kills on that one. Looks like we are going to take a quick time out for these two teams, but PaperX are riding on a high. 5 out of the last 6 rounds have gone their way. Everything seems to be working for them in the early rounds, in the clutches as well. And it's off of a mid-round rotation where, I mean, Northeption had sent so many players over towards that site that on the retake, it didn't quite work out for them in the end.
Yeah. To be fair though, again, that was just like no utilities for
Ben kayang main pantatku yang kembang-kempis.
Shields to absorb damage and maybe stay longer in
time out guys. Kena mental udah. Aduh guys, masa mau kita di comeback? Ini map kita guys. Kumaha anjing seldom sia nu balik goblok. Bunuh kabeh katanya gitu.
Into fighting into the sites because I think
sia jago sia teh di YouTube goblok. Nah, teu mulu main deui cenah gitu kan.
What's actually there with the utilities that they use, but now
fokus
kind of switch and bait. And whatever happens, they make use of Jing as well as Forsaken for that entry. And it seems like they're just putting it to themselves to make sure that the refrag game is going to be good for PaperX. And it works, right? They're all about the setups and whatnot. They might have an outlier or two that's just going to be lurking and stuff, but it's this kind of quick adjustment for PaperX is keeping them afloat. Now we're 11-9, 2 more before they equalize.
I'm loving seeing Fanatics boost here.
Itu bisa right click deh anjing ese. Iya ya, anjing ini kalau bisa right clicknya masih kayak dulu san ya. Pasti jago anjing. Pasti ada aksi.
Waduh.
Waduh lah. Sugar Zero. Aduh Son. Lagi perang atuh Son.
Forsaken gets found in hell as well, and the entire round completely exploded for Northeption.
Oh man, he was fiddling with his hands once again.
Bang Aron nih bos, yo.
Udah kebaca, Blay. Lo lihat no, Ten yang lihat kemana WH bego nih.
Mantap.
Nice. Indonesia.
Bunuh semua. Aron ambil joget anjing cok.
After his dash couldn't quite take him off heaven, runs face first into a wall, then immediately gunned down.
Let's go. Come back.
It's just pure chaos when we get onto these bomb sites. The sleight of hand not here, just full sending it on.
Anjing Jason megang util mulu ya, lagi berantem ya?
Iya anjing.
Buset. 5-5-an lo lihat no 5-5-nya anjing.
Jason diajak ini by 5. By 5 anjing bukan by 1. Aduh, Son kabur sih. Anjing itu ketembak flashnya cok.
Oh, that flash is gonna get denied. You can shoot the birdie.
Jangan takut Son, tahan terus Son. Kabur Jasonnya, oh dilempar.
Jason pengen bunuh. Bos back. I kill them all katanya. Sebelah sama guys. Mansen pengen game seru dikasih sama Riot. Anjing.
Ini nih.
Aku bukan Superman ya anjing sambil main. Aku bukanlah Superman. Aku juga bisa nge-flank katanya kan.
Goblok bolang.
Yeah, there you go.
Sambil nyanyi tolol.
6 in a row. Yeah, I've been keeping a little mental tally on that one because it has been pretty impressive from PaperX. Now, for Northeption, they need to figure out how to shut this down. They have the Seekers for some good information. May has access to the Hunter's Fury as well. Just making sure you can find a tag with the drone, with the recon darts. Extreme importance. Interesting that PaperX have stopped trying to play through mid and break
Ayahku selalu memarahi aku. Kenapa aku nggak main Mobile Legends katanya?
But that's just about it.
Bokapnya main katanya, anaknya nggak main.
PaperX just running the same strategy back. It's 4 and 8.
Guys, genggam tangan bersama demi Paper.
Over towards tiles, waiting to figure out where exactly he wants to hit. And they just full rotate out. No mid play whatsoever the last few rounds from PaperX. They are going to be stepping into a lot of Killjoy utility, but similar to last time they ran this through, Forsaken has access to the null command. Devi has ultimate too, so
anjing ini orang suka main smoke dia nih.
Iya anjing dia main dalam smoke mulu ya.
Iya.
Alay bangset
gitu. Gua ranket gitu.
Tapi MTH ngeritnya nggak jelas banget dah.
Was like 3 on A, and now they've kind of rotated a lot of their forces.
Anjing utilnya banyak banget.
onto nearing
di silent, powerless. You are powerless, guys. Meninggal siya, boy. Alas ya.
Swims inside the
revive me, Jet.
At least they are trading fantastically for this. They can bring back Forsaken through that smoke. It's a little bit safety. 4 versus 3 to follow through.
Aduh, masih lagi. Emoknya habis.
But he still finds something through.
Aduh, ada waktu.
Oh, he's a woodcutter and he's cutting down the wood of Paper Rex.
Nice, damai.
Last side.
Nggak mungkin lu berdua mati bareng.
Oh no.
Itu bola aman. Kailu. KYLO.
Oh man, I can hardly believe it. My heart is beating out.
Oh no.
3 HP, boys.
And we are going to take a pause from the side of Paper Rex right here. I have to commend Northception learning from the weaknesses earlier on this map when the same play was ran by Paper Rex. I swear, 10 ran all the way back to the back of defender spawn. It looked like he was trying to reset from the round, like not even play
Tapi dia ada di CT
sih, si
Sofia, jadi dia ngira di CT
sih throw from Forsaken, anything like this
Habis
to make sure
kan.
they could lock them inside B main. And that's the difference between 9 seconds on the clock there and 30 seconds on the clock there was the utility from Killjoy.
Bisa yo.
Down, so that push on the site had to be
mereka juga duitnya jelek ini.
That May was playing
Siapa?
and May clutches for the double
Iya.
at the end of it all.
Masih bisa buy ini kan Paper Rex.
Masih bisa full buy.
Dibalikin dengan cara yang sama, Cok. Comeback in the same way ya kan.
They took an incredibly long time
udah spoiler.
to push that B side. Granted, they were probably waiting for maybe the Vice utility or they were setting up some lineups and such, but they took such a long time that Northception wasn't phased anymore. That was going to be 8. They knew it's going to be a
menang game 1.
And they just held on true. Yes, there was the utility for 10 that definitely won them that round.
T1 aja menang, berarti ini comeback, guys.
To throw out, and I think Paper Rex were kind of expecting.
Oh, ngalah.
Final stretch. Thankfully,
ngalah.
Paper Rex, they
Aduh, masih dapat aja.
That's going to be the trade.
Wah.
Rednya bagusan mereka lagi.
Run.
Wah. Viper's going to be coming into mid lane,
nge-tweet.
and that is just going to get shut down. It's all up to the Vi. They know where he is. He's going to be throwing out all the utility, but he's going to have to try to clutch this. He does have time, which is thankfully enough what he can use. But through this Cosmic Divide, he's hurt, and yep, they know he's going to be coming out through A main, and the triple peak to come through short. This
they
is
will play
mid,
guys.
Close the door, which is good. The switch is going to give him some solace, but he's
nice try.
Not going to happen in keeping them alive in the upper brackets.
Oh my word, the sole remaining representative from Japan, Northception, win 2 maps back-to-back with just 2 rounds separating them from Paper Rex. We went to overtime, back on Icebox, and here they clutch it out in the final final round of the game. And I mean, it was good stuff, right? The attack from Northception was very effective, punishing some of the weaknesses in Paper Rex's defense. Paper Rex were able to fight back, though, and
nice try
at the end.
They definitely were, and it seems like they could have gotten whatever they wanted to, but
Paper Rex turunnya kemana nih? Sini.
Especially that one little fight. Anyways, I believe we are gonna go for that.
Ganti judul streamingan lu,
I just don't
Boom
know.
lawan.
If you're a fan of Paper Rex, this is a double elimination, so they do have that lower brackets to still look forward to. But Northception
DAMWON tuh DK nggak sih? Singkatannya DK kan?
DAMWON DWG, Cok.
DWG.
Buset putih banget muka aku. Anti boys. Thank you. Turun ke tempat boom ya kan, sini kan. Boom sini. Boom sini ini sini. Si boom. Boom masih ada. Aduh, boom lawan Paper Rex bisa terjadi, guys.
DWG ya?
Xbox kok bisa kalah Paper Rex. Nggak ngerti. Ke comeback intinya dah.
Udah nggak usah gua ini dah. DAMWON.
Si Crossfire-nya lebih bagus sih. Siapa?
Ngeritnya itu lang yang nggak ada otak asli.
Dia ngeritnya cepet ya, ngeritnya bagus si NTH. Udah gitu dia Crossfire-nya selalu bagus anjing.
Iya.
Lu kalau lihat tadi
trade-nya anjing masuk semua.
Pasti ada yang bunuhin lagi anjing. Enggak pernah kayak mati sendiri-sendiri, Cok. Ini mati. Jadi kayak tiba-tiba 3 lawan 2. Sekali perang tuh dia selalu bawa orang.
Kita lihat TI dulu.
Bagus dia ini.
Or something just disappears underneath the blade of him. I mean, he was having a great time, and I think that's awesome to see. T1 bringing out these sort of carries that aren't necessarily the better, but just showing how strong and confident they are. It just goes to show we've not seen everything that T1's ready to show on the main stage. They've definitely got lots.
Jingnya lagi bau dia
now got a new mantra to play in Grave King. Why waddle when you can blink? Why did Purge never teach me that before when I was trying to play Rave King and I was complaining about how slow his animation is when trying to get last hits? Do you think actually now we're going to see more Rave King? Now that 23 Savage has showed it could be viable at the main event?
I'm not quite sold. I think Magnus also enabled the hero quite a bit.
I don't think we love the pick at the time, but perhaps we underestimated what. I think the big part of why you don't have to go for the Ravens build because you have that, flash from and power ability.
It's definitely a strong hero. And 23 Savage. What amazes
Ngapain jadi
me is that
Paper
this guy,
Boom? Anak muda.
Gua baca ini anjing,
Boom DAMWON.
Boom DAMWON guys.
Then they took him to T1 and he's
already
on
Boom
the
DAMWON
main
ya kan,
stage
tapi
of
kita
the
nonton TI dulu
international,
sambil
and he's
nunggu.
picking heroes that are not in the meta and feeling extremely comfortable on them. That's huge. That just shows the confidence.
Yeah. I have a feeling big things
Kayak tadi malam Karoker itu kekalahan.
Right now we're actually gonna take
Kayaknya Aaron harus live stream deh sebelum tanding.
And see when big things
tadi malam dia nggak stream cok. Jadi
my favorite
ada yang kurang pasti di hidup dia tuh ada yang kurang.
The TI3 where we Alliance won. I remember almost every game I played because most of the games we played really stood out. It was my first TI I went to, and
kalau menang kayak gini cok.
For me, it was
menang TI, Blay, buset.
I watched the previous TIs.
Bisa beli pulau bangsat.
That's where I got like really into Dota and.
Lihat sampai global India eSport, Blay. Karena tahu gue kali itu. Kayak enggak ada.
I pretty much remember everything about that TI.
TI3 sih hype banget.
Lu nonton GE enggak lang?
Pas zaman gua
15 or 16
masih Dota gua apa?
Lu nonton GE enggak? Game ketiga.
Menurut lu
mainnya
yeah, right now I'm the player.
Iya.
But also since I worked as a talent on 3 TIs, I know
kalian mau nonton Enquiries main apa Mansen guys?
You wanna play it, but you also wanna watch it because you
ngentot bolang.
This like
Blay webcam lu lagi ngerokok.
Once the been player, it's like such a cool feeling actually. Yeah, I did watch the TI1, but I was not into it so much. But TI2 was really when I
bisa kalau saya
was like, wow, this game is good. I need to.
Mansen katanya tuh, pada mau nonton Mansen cok, nggak mau Enquiries.
Well, I mean, all of them are best. You know, it depends on what.
Masa ya nonton laga amat terus.
You know, is it the players?
Siapa yang ngomong tuh bangsat?
Deka.
Masa nonton Liga Amatur? Anjing.
Liga amal goblok.
Liga amal.
Enjoy yourself, enjoy the game, enjoy the show.
F4Q anjing musuhnya. Tapi F4Q dari kemarin ini mulu anjing.
Is the future of TI? Do you think they'll
ngetro mulu?
Not be a TI? Are we going to make it to TI 100? What do you think?
In the end, it's the fans who supports the most, right?
Si anjing nonton kursi kita.
Huge prize pool because fans love the game and they're trying to be part of it in any way they can. So.
Wah ini Valorant Jepang yang nonton banyak nih. Wah kalah penonton kita guys.
Like you know, infinity.
Kalah penonton cowok kita. Valorant Jepang 34.000 anjing yang nonton.
Do you guys have any memories of TI3?
A lot, yeah. That finals, I mean, the TI3 Navi Alliance is like one of the craziest Game 5 Grand Finals ever. The comeback, and I remember just sitting in the stands. I was next to the Korean commentators at the event, and they're just screaming, going crazy. The Russian commentators on the other side of them, they're going absolutely wild throughout the entire game as well. And it was just, the Benoria whole atmosphere was one of the kind of most electric places to be because it was that kind of small
Mario Boro ya.
Tonton di Jepang
Mario Bros.
Given that S4 was part of that winning lineup, were you quite excited when you saw him return to the
ngapain
Alliance
guys?
brand?
For sure.
Everyone
wanted him back on Alliance. They struggled.
Bentar ini Blay, udah mau mulai lagi tuh Boom.
So with him returning, you're thinking, okay, they can do it again.
Wah anjing apa ada lalat di kamar gua?
It's not about the TI itself. When it comes to the Dota and the games, it's what makes it special for you. Is the experience that you had, and TI3 for me is exactly that. It's what TI1 was for him. That's TI3 for me. It's one of those first ones that I watched that made me really love the game and try and get there. Eventually, I did get there, but not necessarily as a player.
Well, listen up, guys. F&G, he worked 3 TIs as talent, and now he's playing in a booth.
There's still chance.
There's still a chance, but who is the most likely to be chosen to play TI? Hashtag TI10, let us know. But right now, our teams are taking to the stage, and thank goodness for them, none of us are among their ranks. T1 and Alliance. This
mulus banget,
could be the last game we see Alliance play on the stage.
Itu player Alliance paling depan. Bucet mulus banget, Blay.
So tensions are going to be slightly high in the booth. Meanwhile, T1, let's see if they got a taste for fast games after that one. So much is going to be on the draft in this one. And Alliance, they're the only team here who don't have a coach. Obviously, we saw Jake talking to March earlier. He's a coach you want on your side. For Alliance, if you could give them any advice, I know it's a difficult spot to be in. What do you want to see them do next in this next game?
I always go back to OG and how they would talk in the booth after a loss. Just forget about the game. We're here to win. Enjoy it. Rely on each other. You can do it. Just get the good vibes going. Get that PMA going. Believe in yourself. Believe in what worked for you throughout the DPC season.
Yeah, I never feel like there's anything you can say that's going to change, like in terms of like strategy or skill. It's all you can do is focus on where your head's at when you're looking at you know, bouncing back from a tough loss.
I'd say, focus on just changing it up. You know, Alliance, I think they do best when they come in one game. If they lose, just going for something completely different. And this man, I'll keep calling for. I just want to see him play as Void. I know that they do like having him on like the Morse, the Deuces, or the AFK, but I really think Nico Baby, get him involved earlier, get him active. They're lacking something when they're just sort of fighting with the 4 of them against a team like T1. Get Nico Baby on something that he can turn up to the fight and fight back against this just incredible power that T1 brings early.
Yeah, that's a really good point. I think this team is very similar to that Mineski team that Nico Baby was on last TI. The only time they were winning games was when Nico Baby was like solo carrying the game, getting involved, and he was like, he's the guy. Yeah. I don't feel like, Alliance isn't a team that can do it like OG did yesterday, where Sumail gets completely shut down, but they still win the game because everyone else steps up. Limp, S4, they're just not those guys. They're going to play stable, they're going to be consistent, but Nico Baby is the win condition for Alliance every single game.
So what is so special about Nico
Baby? Blay, live chat menurut lu tapi Boom menang nih, Blay.
It's great.
Lawan DAMWON.
Still good. I think he's underpicked really.
With Tamon. Ini dia nih, anak Bekasi ya. Whiteman anak Bekasi kan ya?
ETs, it's just the perfect setup.
Ini anak Bogor.
And you know, what's better against these teams that want to try and brawl as a 5-man than a hero that's going to be able to turn up, lock them in position, and set up a turnaround.
I would love to see that. I would love to see Nico.
Nah, Seper nih. Fuckboy Jaksel.
Really scary. So I would maybe take my attention to the offlane and the mid lane, and no matter what you pick for Nico Baby, make sure that the other 2 lanes are doing well. So
Bekasi lagi.
Sack him early on. If you get him a bad matchup like that Void versus something that's decent versus Venomancer or whatnot, make sure that Limp and S4 are having a good time, because they
banyak anak Bekasi ya di T1 ya.
Get you through that mid game. They didn't have a mid game in that last game. The first game was awful in that aspect.
They need to pick their heroes earlier. I feel like they first 2 picked the 2 supports. S4 had last pick when half, his best heroes are all banned. There was no Tide, there was no Mars. All these team fight specialists that he likes to play weren't available. And Limp, they could have first 2 picked the Lina. So I feel like they need to prioritize making sure they get those comfort picks so that S4 Limp can have those.
Bekasi planet kan ya, Blay? Multiverse, Blay.
This is the funny thing about Alliance. They did incredibly well in DPC. I mean, they came first back in May. What were they doing well there? Can you remember, Gods? It is a while ago.
Yeah, no. I mean, they were just consistent. I mean, this is, I think, always the story. I think I was talking to Owen about this before. They played consistent Dota. What's that look, Owen?
I'm smiling.
We're not used to seeing it.
Yeah.
When he's off camera, he's a miserable git. I am only joking. He's absolutely delightful. And hopefully this game will be 2. Game number 2, Alliance versus T1.
Alliance versus T1. Game 2.
Welcome. New draft, new panel. We have replaced some of our panel members. My name's still Alva Plus, and I'm joined by Tall Fogged and Canadian Effie, also known as Purge and Jenkins.
Yeah, that's basically right. You got it.
Yeah?
I'm fine with that.
Right, cool.
We'll take it.
Well, we are getting into game number 2 between T1 and Lions. And in last game, we saw a pretty dominant performance by T1, especially mechanically. They're always that top team. There's a hero that stood out to me, as he tends to, which is the Magnus. And I know, Jenkins, you've been praising this hero a lot.
Perlu delay kagak, Bleh.
Yeah, so I've been trying to
nonton ibu ya, Bleh, kalau mau delay, Bleh.
Why is it that it
Lu
feels
dari
so
YouTube
strong
paling delay 5 detik. Lu nggak naruh delay kok.
It's obviously really strong, and I like that people are respecting it now and finally banning it out. But my theory was that in TI, people 5-man because they don't want to lose. You really don't want to lose. You just want to play safe. The whole, family theory, the comfort of being around your teammates. You're not going to be the one that's like throwing the game. I also think at TI, with that 5-manning, the value of being able to like fish for kills goes up immensely. So, it's a cursed name, but Pudge, for example, has been good at previous TIs for the same reason.
Ini sambil nontonin TI. Belum mulai boom ya. Kalau boomnya mulai, gue pindah ke boom.
BKBs is also something that as things get more and more pressured as you're playing safer and safer. BKB comes earlier.
Ada Blay. Tadi gue menang Blay. 200 juta.
It's like the best BKB piercing disable in the game.
Belum. Oh, udah udah keluar. Nih, duit gue sekarang 2.594 juta.
Or horn toss, so it's way less resources to go for those fishes than it used to be.
Yeah, 100%.
Sorry, I can't gloss over this point. You say Pudge was good at previous TIs?
He was good at previous TIs.
Like K6, right? When they picked it in the final?
Of course.
And the one game they lost?
Yes, of course.
Was with Pudge.
I did a replay review of that game.
Yeah.
Saudara gua nih guys.
Yeah, it was. Baby. Just little thing. I want to talk about another hero that we've been seeing a lot. Actually, this combo is pretty strong, as was Fogged was suggesting for Alliance, the Snapfire Tide. The Tide made sense within this team fight idea, but what has made the Snapfire resurge so much?
A lot of it is just that she has a free force staff for their second skill, and because
udah mau mulai lagi anjing. Ini ngapa mulai barengan sih bangsat?
Is enough to keep somebody alive. So the fact that she has that from the
udah mau mulai, udah ngasih lihat line up.
Coordination makes it amazing. Her ulti is great for getting kills. Her laning stage is really solid, especially when you pair her with a minus armor dual lane like the Tide setup. They have a much higher chance to get kills, and that's one of the issues.
Boleh play stream day barengin sama VCT emang nggak boleh?
It was Snapfire plus Sand King. It isn't really that synergistic other than a double stun. So it wasn't the best dual lane. They ended up not doing so good against the Wraith King. And I think this is going to be a much better way to play.
I think also on top of what you said about people are obviously much better at TI than during DPC or something like that. With Snapfire and even though it's only 300 units, in TI, there's a lot of combos. There's a lot of team fight for all of the reasons that we've already talked about. And so combo breakers have immense amounts of value. And so any hero that can do that, whether it's a hero that gets an early 4-staff or a hero that has one built in, it's going to be good.
Right. And on the T1 side, this time, we see the double support combo, Lion and Treant Protector. I actually want to talk to Jenkins or Purge about the idea of draft theory, because we've been seeing this a lot. That if you have the two straight picks in the first phase, they are starting with supports always, right? They're not revealing a core here. Can you explain to me why that mentality might be?
Well, for T1, one thing that they've done, it was in the Animator that I noticed it, but something that they've done a lot is that they pick complementary heroes in the first phase. So I don't necessarily know if it's important that it's support. To me, it's more so with this team that both of these heroes cover a lot of bases. You have a Treant Protector who's going to be protecting all of the towers. He's going to be sitting in a side lane pushing out creep waves. Does Lion hit a single creep in Dota? Absolutely not. This hero is like completely looking for kills. He's standing in trees, but he needs lanes to be pushed out in order to do that, and that's what Tree does. Tree pushes lanes. So having a hero that can play in side lanes in Tree and push out creep waves, and then having a hero that can actually gank off of it is really important. And then between these two heroes, there's also not a lack of disable. They do good disable. They do good damage. T1 does this. They cover all of their bases in their first 2 picks, so that way their final 3 picks can be whatever makes sense for the enemy lineup.
And it's so much easier to be flexible when that's the case, because then you don't have to make up for lackings. You don't have to worry about maybe your lane pairings be weak. That's a lot of the reason.
A
lot of teams are doing this. You grab your 4 and your 3. It's a really synergistic combo, and it brings this much bigger threat against the enemy carry position, who now has to say like, well, we can't be greedy at all. We also have to pick something good, and it's just going to restrict your opponent's options.
Lang ini T1 kalau ngomong bahasa apaan Lang? Inggris bener dia. Sisanya itu orang mana sih? Tiganya?
And this will change what happened in last game, but the Sanking didn't seem that strong in the laning phase.
Well, I briefly watched the beginning of the replay, and what mostly cost him, he went Caustic Finale level 1, which is not that weird against a Wraith King. You can do lots of damage. But
ini tiganya sisanya mana Jap?
Issue between Snapfire and Sanking. What happened is Wraith King got a couple more denies than Sanking. It took like 2-ish minutes for them to get
Satu PH, dua PH.
It was a bit delayed due to the denies, and as a result, he doesn't have burst.
Mustajab abang-abangan Dota nih anjing.
Because Bane was such a good laning hero, he actually ended up getting like a range creep pulled to the large.
Itu Blade, tadi Blade, T1.
Then he pulled his double stack small camp.
Tiganya orang mana kan, duanya orang Indo.
Unheard of typically in the laning stage right now. So like that
dua.
advantage that they got out of it,
Thailand satu ya.
like constant separation where Sanking didn't even get to play next to Snapfire. So then Wraith just has an abundance
banyak banget tatonya.
and he still has a Magnus, so it's just going to get more worse for Alliance as the game continues. So it was a lot of a laning issue, but some of that was certainly draft specific.
Okay. Do you think it would have changed if they had not gone for Caustic Finale level 1? Like,
Aku nungguin boom dulu dah.
would that have made a difference?
If it wasn't
Ya, gue close dulu. Gue mau sholat. Gue mau sholat asar dulu, bentar Blay. Bentar ya, gue sholat asar Lang.
Let's see how the teams are going to set themselves up for success with their agent picks here for the first map of Bind. Flipshit are going to be going back over onto the Rays, and it's pretty much unsurprising. DAMWON, paper thin, anything sticking out to you, or is this just looking very much the same?
Stock standard. Yeah, this is what we've been seeing with Intro switching to the Sentinel controller role. Secret has been basically a permanent Sky now coming into this tournament. That's been the only change that DAMWON Kia has really made, and they're sticking with their guns. And, you know, keep your eyes on Junghai. He's a very smart Astra. He can pop off from time to time. Eugene, a solid Sova. I mean, the thing about DAMWON Kia is they're pretty solid all around, but it seems like if Texture and Intro could create space, then the rest of the team succeeds behind it.
All right, well, Illustrato, you have this lineup. Is it making you feel confident here? How do you feel about the Rays matchup for Flips Jitter going up against Texture's Jet?
Flips Jitter is actually amazing on the Rays here. We see a lot of the time. I think on this map it was NC Slasher who used to play it, but either way,
let's go Hungry Bees
on it. What I'm really looking forward to seeing is Blaze on that Sky. He's been known to be able to be really flexible, and with his aggressive playstyle, I think he's really going to shake up the map.
Right, well, we'll see what the key matchups here, who's going to be butting heads the most, and how that's going to lead to whichever team's success. DAMWON looking scary on this map, a Boom looking to shut him down. It's time to hop into the action, so we'll throw over to our casters to take it away.
Welcome to the APAC LCQ here. Another game and more blood to be shed as we're going into these final two elimination matches of the day. I am Black and Blue. With me is the man himself, Ender. How you doing, man, first of all? And second, what do you feel about these games coming up?
Hey, look, I'm feeling great, especially after our first series. I feel like we were denied a little bit, robbed that we only got 2 of the 3 maps, but they were 2 insane maps. And honestly, I think just looking at the schedule of games all day today, we have 3 really sick matchups. Boom versus DAMWON here, I think is going to be really, really hype because, again, this is an elimination matchup. Whoever goes home, their year in the VCT is over.
Indonesia here representing Southeast Asia on the Boom side, and obviously we got DAMWON representing Korea, and we've had a few Korean teams already been playing here in the lower bracket, as we saw yesterday, when we did have, DAMWON go up against Reject and F4Q going up against Fennel. So far, the Korean teams here have yet to kind of, I guess, fail and go down in that lower bracket and really get kicked out of it. But will this be where at least one Korean team finds their mark and gets kicked out of the tournament? We're going to find out here, obviously, as we're going directly into the game. It is going to be Bind to start things off. And Ender,
guys,
I think
polling.
I think so. Boom have 4 people on A short. It's going to be a complete bloodbath here as they line up for Asterisk. He finds 4 with the Ghost. There's another player coming in behind him.
Brawl lagi anjing, main brawl.
And just 20 seconds, 15 seconds into the round, it's a 1v1.
Immediately, Eeyore here cannot be caught asleep right now. Jonghai going to get that kill, and he will secure the opening pistol here for the side of DAMWON Kia. Very nice opener, and I think that's a very apt way to start the round to start this series with a complete bloodbath towards short. Asterisk putting an exclamation on that with 4 kills to start off the game as well for Boom.
I am sorry if I am Asterisk and this is a match-made game. I'm alt F4ing. I am not playing this one out. You roll in, you get an instant 4K, and then your team loses the round. Feels bad man for him and for Boom to kick it off. But wow, I mean, your Astra is just 2 points away from having access to her Cosmic Divide. Can't feel too bad about that one, as Texture just gonna scout out down long. I do like watching how DAMWON default a lot of the time, spreading out, taking some space here. They catch Flip Jitter, trying to push out of Hookah. I mean, oftentimes when you're attacking, you have something like a Raze on your team, you can just sort of gain a lot of space in Hookah using an early bot.
Ini main Viper ke Yuhol enak banget, sumpah.
Access to that, so they get that kill of Blur outgrown on through to fake a bit of a B hit, while Frostbind just finds a person pushing out onto A on his own.
Icy cold with a classic on there, and the retake is going to come from that short side as they flanked all the way around here, going into that A short. Default plan to come down to the side, DAMWON, and in the U-Hauls, Frostbind, okay, holding down the line for the meantime. Plant will go down, but a perfect flash here from Secret is going to let that all come to the surface. Now on Asterisk, who, honestly, even if he goes down here, I think this is huge now for the side of Boom. They could potentially pull out that Cosmic Divide here on round 3, and there isn't much
balik dia 2-0 nih.
in terms of their own ultimate utility and economy.
Yeah, I mean, that's a bit of an
round 2 harusnya bisa menang kalau nggak di flash ya kan. Round 1 tadi udah 1 lawan 1, udah 1 lawan 2, jadi kalah.
Kalah. Siapa yang nge-clutch?
Iya. Smokernya itu
Junghi.
Karena timing aja. Ini map siapa, Blay? Harusnya map DAMWON guys. Harusnya. Gue nggak tahu.
Coba gue lihat. Ini map siapa nih?
We'll just push 3 players outside Hookah here again using the utility, whether
mapnya DWG pick Bind, Boom pick Ascent. Boom pick Ascent.
I think sometimes a lot of teams will like to do this, where they escort one player into Hookah that can then watch rotations off of the B site while the executes over towards A, and you can see DAMWON are keeping their options open. But Blaze King gets a nice pick there to start things off.
Well, that's certainly a nice way to get this round kick in, especially with them having this 2-round cushion already. Now, with the wall that was placed here by Intro right deeply in A, the default wall that you kind of have cutting off that Lamps position, it did keep, quite a few defenders here on the side of Boom towards that A site. But now that as the rotation comes on in, I think they have a perfect spot to try and counteract this here from the side of Boom, knowing that they have, a setup here towards this Showers position. As soon as DAMWON pushes out of here, Boom can spring that trap, and who knows, they might just be able to pull this one on back in a 4v5. So, very nicely done here for the meantime, wasting that time. 30 seconds left on the clock. DAMWON should be able to get a plant if they kill this guy on triple, but Frostbind's going to say something about a 3v5 here already, and still the spike is nowhere to be seen. They're rotating around to the B site. They do have that forward position on Texture inside Hookah. It will be enough for him to open up the site with 3 defenders waiting. Asterisk will get that kill.
It's Asterisk that's using the operator too, of all things. Texture somehow finds 2, bursting out onto the site. It seems like it should have been doomed for DAMWON. Not possible to get the spike on the ground, but they will make it happen. Takes out Texture. Now Junghai in a 1v3, only a Spectre in hand. Dodging away from concusses. It's not going to be easy.
He's just biding his time here inside the tube, playing the back of the site. It's a 3v1, Spectre in hand, not the best weapon you want in this situation, but he can make it happen. No, he finds the one. Now he needs one more to isolate this fight, and he brings it to a 1v1.
Hampir anjing.
He's gonna say hi, hello.
Bang Kacau.
Kacau nggak ada armor lagi tadi kan? Glass cannon operator.
And he finally gets around for Boom here on the board.
Oh my god, DAMWON do so much damage. They're almost clutch out the round. Asterisk rather, on so little HP. And it seems like DAMWON so slowly. Committed down towards Shower, so it wasn't in a position to quickly teleport over to the B site. That meant they had to cross that opening, where Asterisk was, of course, able to find a good shot with the operator there. And, well, DAMWON
main Astro Operator sih.
Remove 4 rifles from the hands of Boom, so not too bad for them. They're going to have a really strong buy coming into this next round. But again, looks fairly similar from DAMWON. Just early control over
Well, it was a bonus for them, and in a way it does kind of work out, as you said here, Ender. They get lots of that economic damage and really put a hole in the pockets of Boom. But Boom still got some weapons to work with here. Operator, as you said, here on Asterisk. So this is definitely doable for them, as it was saved. Intro, though, making that entrance into the B site, and Texture will follow up. 5v3 already.
Baper gua.
Ready intro and Texture very low, but lucky for them, Secret is on that Sky. The retake can come in here, but Asterisk is going to have to find a pick off with that Operator, otherwise it could be a moot point.
There's a quick flank coming through from Eeyore as well, so you have to watch that player in Hookah. He's the one that could blow up this round, turn it into a win for Boom, but so hard for those two players to reclaim space and actually push on forward here. They're even concerned about the Operator in hand as well as a rifle, so I think those two save. Eeyore's just here to try and get any kind of damage he can find. 3v5, retaking B side on Bind, already difficult. Well, when you have an Operator and it's 3v5, not gonna work out for you at all. So we'll see if Eeyore can get the timing, and next round should have a little bit better knives. Oh no, Eeyore can't make it happen.
Eeyore kind of dipping his hand into the honey jar there and not really pulling anything out. Pooh wouldn't be proud. 3-1 on the board, and DAMWON, a very damn good round from them on that one. Boom, realizing, okay, as you said there, save the rifle, save the Operator, we can play for round number 7, moving on forward, round number 6 rather. And so, an eco is to be expected here. Flip Jitter forcing out the Spectre, it seems, but for the most part, I don't expect too much here from Boom. Although, who knows, Asterisk on that Operator might just be doing something. It's very curious, actually, that it is on their Astra over anything, but I mean, with the game that he's been having popping off here, it might just be the right call. Not able to land the shot. Trailblazer will stun him. Good pop flash here by Blaze to get them that positioning and get them that space to fall back safely. And now the hookah position is under contention, but Flip Jitter finding one, quickly done. Asterisk gets the trade immediately. And they've made this thrifty eco round work.
Yeah, don't doubt the Operator in the hands of Asterisk. Perhaps doubt it when Eugene is still alive. Munjonghai could do some serious damage, but they have to be concerned. Retake hookah. You can't really, especially when you get spotted out here. Cosmic Divide also trying to divide up that site. But they haven't cleared back site. There could be players in elbow. They don't know about any of these options. Go for a very, very safe plant. That means you can't play off site. You have to stand your ground and win it out here.
It is planted towards long, so they could potentially fall back to that, but he has a different idea. He wants to go on the aggression here. He wants to take that initiative. He could potentially find a double kill lineup. 1-2, give him the 4K. 1 away from that ace. And Asterisk knows that this is a done deal. All he can really hope for here is an exit. If Eugene peaks this and he gets the ace, that's going to be a great confidence booster here for DAMWON Kia. We're looking like the favorites as of the moment in this series already. Boom Esports. Another round given away, one that would have certainly benefited them to the fullest extent if they won this eco. But nonetheless, it goes in the way of DAMWON. 4 rounds now they've taken, 3 over Boom.
Yeah, Asterisk holds on to the up. Has to back up a little bit there, a little close for comfort, but secures the round nonetheless. And I think when it comes down to the conversation, like upping on Bind, is a really weird one, especially when you run compositions that don't have a jet in it. Right? Like DAMWON, they can put it on texture, they're going to be just fine. But I personally really, I despise when races run the Operator. I think playing the closer angles towards a short, making sure you can get use out of your nade, of course, those paint shells, the bot as well, because you want to be in a position where you can sort of use the ability to teleport the teleporters and shut down those angles. So I don't hate rocking it on something like Astra.
Wah, anjing langsung diras kan gue.
We have kind of seen on the impact side that lots of teams, and what is that peek come from Texture? Blaze King just wins that out, and I don't know what he was doing while peeking that. I guess he was trying to punish Blaze, was being hampered by the kill on Zhonghai. High. Second one for him. This is
it is high.
This is a high round now for Boom. First and foremost,
and a flawless one too.
A flawless one, yes, mind you. And as I was saying, it's actually quite a common thing for, if anything, if you're not going to have that operator on maybe duelist, Kalau lu ganti rosternya 2, pasti berubah jadi lumayan signifikan anjing ganti 2.
Anjing itu Secret KR kagak punya skin bangsat.
Gak dipakai kayak.
Dia lebih doyan yang Black Mate ya.
Saya nyetel, iya anjing lagi latihan tata lu goblok main kendang. Berisik kan? Gue juga berisik.
The asterisk
gua mute aja, gua mute.
That 4 of those kills came with a pistol in the first round. So for now, Boom just gonna lock down A short with that Viper's pit. Interesting that the operator's still playing over here towards
tetap aja
closer angle.
Ini nggak bisa ini apa? Ini tuh sistemnya poin guys. Kalau lu ganti roster, lagi 1, jadi poin si Boomnya ngurangin, ngerti nggak sih?
Nggak bisa masuk LCQ.
Iya, nggak bisa masuk LCQ jadinya kalau lu ganti ini. That's really going to help them too. Bukan gimana timnya, poinnya tuh bukan di tim gitu, di player.
That information is there, right? Get the alarm bot, you got a star already pre-placed, maybe for a pull in case Blaze King gets overrushed.
Kayak Brand, makanya Brand bisa ikut lagi, karena dia gantinya apa? Karena dia cuma ganti organisasi, bukan ganti player. Makanya poinnya masih ada buat dia masuk ke champion.
The Viper's pit here, the ultimate has been popped by Frostmind on short, and that only leaves Showers to be the really open position.
Yang gitu cuma ke sama Rafael, iya.
In the bushes.
You know what I think we might see after this initial contact is Intro has a pit of his own. So you can just do a wall right there, or an ult. Rather, now you can't once you get operated, but I thought that was going to be the play. Asterisk, you asked how much value he was going to get. He's going to get all of it, 2 kills, maybe a third.
Buset.
Ini dari Soldam nih kayak.
The knife's just slicing up the site here, and Zhanghai will get that kill. And Frostmind suddenly turned around. Ultimate has been taken down. That pit is no longer there. And Eor's gonna have to find some way, almost landing a shot on Zhanghai. Too close for comfort to give him a haircut. Eor on the push. Will drop his lockdown to try and give him some space, but he's got to wait a few seconds before he can really capitalize off of that. Blaze King here, trying to entry into the Lamp's position. He knows that he has to be close, and he wins that fight. Texture, though, brings it down to a 1v2 after that triple kill for him. Pushed off of it. They know that there's one towards Showers, and one has to be short.
Kiri, flashnya keluar gak?
Flash out. Blaze caught in the open, gonna be in the pocket, but will he be able to pull this out of his sleeve? Blazing on the peak, he brings it down to a 1v1. He now knows where the last player is, and on the rotate, it's done. It's a sealed deal. They know there's no more time. And DAMWON to suddenly somehow take the round.
Yeah, just no time to play with right there for poor Blaze. Couldn't get those early kills nearly quick enough.
Gak ada yang dirubah anjing dari Boom.
Take that one right there. I mean, again, these sight hits from Texture in particular are absolutely flawless. He's done it a couple times already this game when they've been taking B sight, just absolutely insane when he's dashing out rifle in his hands or those knives. And, well, he does it again right here. Even after 2 players fall immediately to the operator in the hands of Asterisk, it just doesn't matter when you got a guy like Texture on your team.
Man, Texture has been completely just destroying everything that comes across his path right now, and
Bani beda banget sama Bani di NXL.
Otherwise, it did
Bani kalau main di NXL, mainnya terserah dia cok. Orang dia nge-call aja. Walaupun di sini pasti dia bisa nge-call kayak, gue pengen gini. Mana ya pasti beda lah. Nggak selalu kalau lu nge-call diri. Ya kacau.
Found by Intro. Flip Jitter could not help because of that great smoke, and Intro once again making the entrance onto the site.
Bani belum panas nih Bani nih.
And now Zhanghai trading him out. It's a 3v2 here, Ender on the post.
Telurnya belum matang bener.
Could potentially come out. It seems to be for Boom.
All right here, Eor and Blaze. Last 2 remaining for Boom. There's a lot of ground they have to cover. Zhanghai all the way back towards A short as well for the post plant. 2 players.
Bani masih ngantuk, Blay.
They use both flashes trying to scout out some information. I don't think they're going to expect anyone here this quickly. Blaze has to find the kill, but
kebanyakan mau ngikutin gaya orang tuh nggak? Si Bani padahal pakai vandalnya cago anjing. Dia pakai phantom terus lu lihat.
Garapan emang.
Find the kill onto Texture. Now it's Eor in a 1v2. Knows there's players on both sides of him, and he doesn't want any part of that.
Emang ngeliatin siapa dia?
Ya pasti kayak ngeliatin Nas gitu-gitu atau siapa kayak yang phantom dari orang-orang aja pakai phantom. Ngerti nggak mas?
DAMWON put their 6 on the board.
DAMWON making it happen here right now. Round number 6, as you said, Ender, and once again, you know, the two top of the scoreboard here coming from the side of DAMWON, Texture and Intro just having some huge plays, and that's not to diminish as well what Zhanghai has been doing. The controllers here of DAMWON have been perfect in setting up the rest of the team to be able to really control the situation, aptly named enough. And Boom Esports are on an eco here. Only a single rifle to be bought up by Blaze. To be fair, Blaze is a cracked shot, and who knows, he might just make this MVP strat work out. They're looking for that long control here towards that Shower's position on the A site. And for the meantime, it is giving them some control at least, but with DAMWON realizing that, they just go towards the B site, and Eeyore here has a lot to deal with, and so does Flip Jitter, but the ultimate could potentially come in huge from that showstopper.
I'd just like to quickly direct your attention to the mini-map where Astra is still in attacker spawn out in outer space as well, putting down some stars to assist in the site hit over on B. DAMWON make that one look easy. All 5 players still alive.
Gila, dia masuk B cuma pakai 3 orang aja.
Making sure a flank has no way of coming on. Texture keeps peeking on forward. And DAMWON just continue to look very strong on this map. You know, the site hits...
Ini kemarin DAMWON kalah sama GE nih.
Over-aggression from them perhaps, but Texture in particular is so insane. Of course, as I say that, Frostmind finds 2. Still very talented players on the side of Boom, but figuring out how to shut down DAMWON's takes, shut down DAMWON's early defaults has not looked super hot for them.
Totally. I mean, okay, he finds a third here. Frostmind, just ice-cold veins in his body, but he's going to go down with the spike. He did retrieve a phantom, so he
kerenan lu lah RDB kayaknya.
I think with pretty much a full save, right, if you're just buying pistols there on the round, like, all you want to do is, like, seek out as many guns as you can get, because you only get 1,000 bonus credits the next round anyways. You're going to be able to... either way, you get a rifle and armor, right? It's if you carry over a rifle, you buy armor, whatever. So I think any extra damage you can try to accomplish is good, and maybe he has a different skin he prefers. See, he prefers a Vandal.
Yeah,
it makes so much sense for Eeyore.
That's totally why. And obviously with them, you know, losing 3 rounds down in a row, that will give him just a bit more money for the lost bonus. And Frostmind here, definitely, I guess.
Tapi musuhnya ekonominya juga nggak banyak sih.
Not that Ion stuff. I want the SOL. So timeout here coming from Boom Esports, talk things over. They definitely have the mechanics to make it happen, but they've been getting caught out in a lot of these, you know, committed positions that they're just not able to fall back safely from. And DAMWON realizing that to continuously punish them time and time again. And saw it there in hookah after a bit too deep, and same way towards the A short position. So Boom Esports, I like that they're taking the initiative, but it kind of does seem misguided at some moments.
It hasn't really worked out, at least recently. And, well... Boom Esports, they have access to quite a few ultimates to try and shut some things down. Flip Shooter, of course, you have to look at that showstopper. Blaze has the Seekers as well. And I think
how to win this game.
To me, if you have Seekers and you have Showstopper, it completely shuts down any player on the opposite team from trying to use Viper's Pit. Like, I'm looking at those ultimates being the ones open, because having the Seekers already is good into Viper's Pit. You can sort of scout out multiple different players, get the general direction of where they are. When you have an AoE missile that does 1 million damage, and all you have to do is send it the same direction the Seekers are traveling, well, not too fun to be camping out inside of your own ultimate. So, a little natural counter right there for those 2 players stay alive late in a round. For an option when the pit is used in a post-plant situation. But again, Asterisk is using this operator to try and hold down.
Intro's doing here, just trying to crawl through all these smokes. He's taking the forward position into the lamps, and to your point here, when you're holding these really tight corners, that noob tube on Raze could be influential and huge. He's able to get that 1 kill on a Frostmind, and that's the Viper trading out the opposing one. Intro here inside the lamps will not see the light. Well, actually, he will, because Eeyore will send him back up into the depths. Now, Eeyore holding down the position. They know he's on the back of the side. Will he be able to find one more? No, Secret finding him from the back, and now they have taken control of the site. Boom here. They still have an opportunity to try and retake this. They got 2 ultimates up. They got those Seekers.
Wow.
And the Showstopper, but denied! Texture not letting him stick the landing, looking like Duck Hunt over here. It's a 4v2.
Oh man, Blaze and Asterisk, it might just go back into a save here. I mean, there's not that many rounds left in the half, but Asterisk is holding onto the operator. Blaze hasn't lost any armor, so maybe if you can find an opening pick here. Blaze sees his opportunity, but can't connect on any of those shots. Boomer.
Yeah, at this point, you know, tell them I can't pay rent anymore. I gotta bail out of here. Asterisk somehow finds us up close and personal, going out through the vents. And Jonghai, he wants that kill, and he he escapes. Not for long. Asterisk, what are you doing? He lands the hard shot, the easy shot, misses those ones. He does get the third at the end. Okay, a bit of a consolation.
Padahal ekonomi Deka nggak banyak loh.
Kills at the end, but this is looking like a runaway game here, and they're on the defensive half. Boom.
I mean, it's going great for DAMWON. Boom, giving up a lot of space, you know, when they've been playing over towards Hookah. It was just a very easy walk up on A short for DAMWON, sort of read that.
Fix Boom menang lihat ay. Amin.
Onto the site
Moga dah.
Quickly, you know, was it Eeyore just completely stranded on site, getting pushed from U-Haul and from Showers, just didn't really know where he was meant to go, what he was meant to do, and not working out too great for them. With this operator has a player there to destroy the dog on the push. It's good coordinated play from Boom. It's what you need when you don't have a dash. When you're not playing Jet, you gotta have a little buddy there to get you out of compromising situations, and it works. It works great. Boom have 2 opening picks.
Yeah, that gravity well, I guess. If you can't get out of the way, like with the dash, then maybe keep your opponent in place instead so they can't follow up on you. Maybe that's the idea here, the thought that they're really trying to apply. And to be fair, Asterisk is making it work, but it hasn't really been converting into actual rounds won by Boom. So they get a few kills here at the end of the round, but nothing too influential as of the meantime. Walls here by both Vipers on that A side, and Asterisk, he finds another pickoff. This is one of the few rounds where those ops have really been working out to maybe convert a round. And now in a 5v2, this should be a round for Boom. Otherwise, if this is another one that they lose and let that slip out of their hands like the 4v2 a while ago, then I'm not too sure. They might just be mentally boomed after it, but Frostman gets that kill. It should be
dapat 4 masih bisa nih.
Yeah, not the easiest one right there. Jonghai gonna get 1 before he's taken down himself. DAMWON will have to rethink things just a little bit. You know, they
ayo satu lagi.
You know, they had the well going in towards Hookah, but not really playing off any flashes or anything like this. DAMWON have access to quite a few tools to try and scout out their way into these areas. A little bit more if they're trying to take space a little bit more aggressively in these early rounds, especially something like Hookah. Well, let's employ the use of a drone or a wolf, especially now that you know that Asterisk is going to be opping at every chance that he gets on this Astra.
Totally. I mean, they now know that Asterisk is going to be trying to hold those forward positions. Maybe not too deep because he is in a jet, but that's something you have to expect. They have lots of information gathering on their side here for DAMWON, and so that's something they can certainly try and sniff out here with the Hound. But for the meantime, it's Blaze King on that Sky is looking to make a play and maybe enable here Asterisk to do for the peak, just holding down the line for him. Texture has some notion that they're trying to do exactly that, but they're going to give up the fountain for now, as they're looking to go into a very different pit here towards this A site.
I think DAMWON have a really good read there. So they actually used the dog to clear out fully Hookah. They saw no players in Hookah. So then you infer there's probably going to be players playing pretty aggressively over towards B main. The operator is either B long or it's going to be watching Showers. That's the next thing they have to be able to scout out here. There's no drone. Or he's using it right now. Yeah, so exactly. Now they know the operator isn't there. Is that up? Probably back over towards B. It's time to try and hit this site.
Yeah, at that point, there's 2 options. Either it's towards the back of B or the back of A. And this time they go towards the latter and looking to make that gamble work on out. Big gambit for them, but this is a lot of utility being thrown to keep them at bay. 30 seconds left on the clock, and they're slowly running out of time. Those sands are quickly hollowing away from them, and now they got 25 left. The rotate to come in on here. That Viper's towards A short, so nothing more. No great wall to hold him back off. Now Eeyore in a committed position here. Frostmine is going to get taken down, not landing a shot on a secret. No more hidden there. Eeyore will get that kill. Now on the very roughly as Blaze can find the double. Jonghai on the trade. It's a 1v2 immediately. Asterisk, the last man player alive. He's got an operator in his hands, Ender, and the post plant will come in.
He's saved so many times, but it's the last round. He's got to go for it. No one playing backside. There's that Viper's pitch you have to worry about. Rifle underneath him, he could switch over to. One Molotov for intro to play with. He uses it. Actually, yeah, it's going to be down now. Asterisk getting sucked too, down to 1 HP. I mean, it's just miserable to play inside of the smoke here, and he has no time.
Yeah, I mean, all they have to do at that point is spray that smoke. They know where it's being, they know where it's planted and spiked. So 12th round goes in the way of DAMWON as they go up 9-3. And while this may look dire, Ender, we've seen many
Bani masih tidur nih, Cok.
this entire week. And so the curse, the hex, who knows, will it shine once again here?
We'll have to wait and find out. I mean, didn't even really notice.
I don't know, man.
Saw a scoreboard right there. Flipshitter at the bottom of the scoreboard, 2-10 on the Rays. I mean, honestly, he's been playing support for the Astra, so it makes a little bit of sense. But still, on the attacking side, need to see big things for the star duelist player from Boom Esports.
Masih bisa ini, Blay. Masih bisa ini.
5 players sprinting at each other down A short this time. A little bit of a B hit for Boom. They've got great tools to work.
Jagoan G apa Boom lang?
Up towards Hookah here. It's going to start out with a play we're going to see a lot with a team with Rays on Vine. The lineup of the Roomba and there's Molly right there. Look at Intro absolutely ripping them apart, and he wants a little bit more.
Those fangs striking 1, 2, 3. Can he find the fourth? Goes where Frostmind is. He gets the 4K looking for the ace, but Zhonghai will tell him not today. I want to jump into the party as DAMWON take it 10-3. They take the pistol, and you're looking to extend this even further. This could easily be match point very soon here, Ender. And Boom, they just completely got that one, not expecting that aggression coming in from Intro. Now, normally teams with an Astra and a Raze on that attacking pistol will, place a star in there, but they didn't even have that opportunity because as soon as Flipshitter went through the smoke, he got domed.
Yeah, he did, and I just love it, right? It's such a common play you see with the Rays. Intro has the timing of it, has that Viper wall, as well as the Molly. So, first of all, they're going to be decayed from the wall. Then they're also going to be vulnerable by the Molly, and then you have a pistol. It's just one-tapping people over and over right there. Secret has the judge closed off the angle somewhat, and
ketemu klasik kabur ya.
Iya anjing. Tinggal 1 hit lagi, Cok, padahal.
Extra here with Marshall.
Aduh, kenapa ini sudah jadi Bang Bola?
There towards that Showers lobby, and so they have so much information that Boom are nowhere to be seen. They're going towards that B side. Let's cut over on it. Zhonghai and Intro are making quick work. A mincemeat here of the remaining Boom Esports members, and that's it. Eugene gets another kill. 11-3, potentially match point coming up in the next one, but the bonus is going to come in from DAMWON, and Boom are looking to make this gun round happen.
Dibanding ngelawan GE ya.
Have had some great attacking rounds here.
Atau mungkin Baninya lagi bawa aja.
Can they pull it out against such competition?
Kayak kalau Baninya bisa main kayak maksudnya bunuh ya.
Of this caliber at least, or any team from Korea up until this tournament.
Jadi Bania PSK Rossi nih, Lang.
Bania PSK Rossi.
Nah. Bania PSK Rossi nih.
I don't know.
Kok lu nggak tahu sih, Lang? Parah banget.
They don't want to go home. But Blaze King doesn't either.
Sebenarnya PSK Rossi juga jago anjing. Iya nggak sih?
Jago.
Sebenarnya jago, Cok. Kalau dia cuman kalau jagonya sendiri, gimana menangnya, goblok?
He's playing right underneath Hookah, has those mollies to slow down the hit.
Ini bukan karena Baninya lagi gini ya. Cuman gue bilang emang PSK Rossi bisa main anjing.
Watching those rotations off, Boom
dia tahu WP.
know that Boom are going to end up hitting this B site.
Jagoan mainnya mau bacot ya, Lang?
Hah?
Jagoan mainnya mau bacot ya?
Gua nggak tahu kalau itu. Gua nggak pernah lihat bacotan dia sih.
Kok lu takut-takutan gitu sih, Lang, anjing jawabnya?
Gua ketemu PSK Rossi kayak cuma sekali anjing di ranked.
Comeback nih. Aduh, gue pengen game seru lagi, Lang.
Nah ini, udah guys, OT guys, Mansen udah bilang pengen game seru.
Awal dari comeback kan ini. Udah gue bilang gue pengen game seru.
It's a smart play. Instead of challenging around Tuka, where Intro just has this great setup to shut it down. You have the rifle advantage. Play down B long. Take your time.
Biasanya aja dimaki-maki sama PSK Rossi emang iya. Gak pernah, sumpah gue gak pernah ketemu pas dia bacot. Tapi gue ketemu waktu itu pernah, tapi dia musuh gue terus jago anjing. Pas temen waktu itu sekali pernah kayak kontil.
3v3 for the rest of this round, and well, Boomer still spread out very thin.
Wah, nice banget, Yor. Udah ini nggak mungkin kalah nih ya. Please, jangan kalah round ini nih. Bandar udah bilang game suruh auto OT sih. Kata Bandar gue.
Oh nggak salah Jason disuruh nggak usah main Valo lagi malah goblok. Bapaknya yang nyuruh Jason main. Ini lagi Escarosi larang-larang goblok.
Bacotannya parah lang. Gak ada otak anjing orang-orang itu. Iya.
Wah, Bani langsung pakai kadal-kadal aja. Waduh.
Not like this. Please not like this.
Wah,
astagfirullah.
Kena mental sih kalau udah gini.
Allahu Akbar.
Secret, oh my god, somehow winning out on that. I thought Boom had the read. They knew exactly where everyone was with the teleport audio, with the alarm bot. But it doesn't matter if you know where they are, if they just shoot you better. And Secret did just that. Gets one kill in front of him, swings around, takes care of the flanker as well. With just a Guardian in hand, DAMWON are just better here on Bind.
For the moment, as a Secret, that might just
ini mapiknya Deka.
Secret tech that we got running on here. Maybe, just maybe, that's what Boom needs to pull in. That DMR maybe help their case out, but for the meantime, they're gonna have to pull out every single stop.
Bandar kendor anjing. Kendor lah bangsat kalau begitu.
Point away from both lockdown and the Viper's pit, and so this could be huge for them. Whoever gets that opening pick could potentially swing this entire round away. And Secret finds that one texture. It's a complete bloodbath, a flurry of frags, and it goes fully in the way of DAMWON. This is match point, and this should be the map sealed and dealed in. As Flip Jitter goes down, Texture just reading them like a book, loaded in. We're going to.
Oh, lu lihat Bani masih bunuh anjing sebelum mati.
Bunuh lah.
Into the Roche pit, T1 goes.
Oh, T1 jauh juga nih.
Ini gua nonton T1 dulu anjing.
Again, we talked about this before, but Slark against Medusa just feels incredible.
Yeah.
Like, is there a better like a carry versus carry matchup for Medusa?
I think
it's up there.
I think Slark has to be one of the best. Ursa deserves an honorable mention just because of how much mana burn he can get out so fast for the overpower, but yeah, it's definitely up there, and like you said,
enak banget jadi Slark ya bangsat.
We can go back to the draft all we want. Obviously, the game is being played out right now, but probably something that Alliance aren't too happy about. Someone who is happy there, though, Seth are definitely having a great time. They chose to give him Treant this game. I think he's doing
Map 2 sama 3, map 2 Asen.
In all honesty,
map 3
it
split.
doesn't feel like Treant has been the absolutely most integral reason why this lineup has worked, though. It's something to think ahead for the other teams that are very likely to face T1 now as Alliance are very much on the back foot, but perhaps prioritizing other bands against this team could be worth it. Look at that change in just the last 9 minutes.
Itu Boom juga yang kalah pulang anjing.
Boom juga yang kalah pulang sih. Dua-duanya sama.
19-1 chance of winning.
Yeah, that is rough stuff. 94% win rate or win probability for T1.
Anjing.
Still 4 minutes to go with the
Void Spirit-nya itemnya beginian doang nih. Menit 26.
Farm the map. Make sure that Alliance gets starved out of the areas that they want to farm and eventually go high ground. They don't have the best high ground again. We've talked about this before, but T1's lineup, that's I guess one of the negatives coming out of it, but
they have so much safety on their core.
Ember lawan Void Spirit di mid.
Hyper aggressively because Alliance's ways of killing them are super limited. I honestly think you can't kill either Slark or Ember without Ravage.
Tapi ini pulang bawa. Iya sih. Kalau yang ini pulang banyak duit anjing.
They're missing. I mean, again, this is hindsight, but burst
LCQ nggak dapat duit anjing ya.
Would be very nice in this scenario.
Oh, here we go.
Jump in from Carl. Looks like FNG is just gonna die. No, actually lives with barely any HP, and then finally gets taken out first as Carl will go back to safety. 23 Savage on the back line now, trying to target Limp. You see the fissure come out as well. BKB dodging the Ravage as a result. Limp is going to stay alive though. Mortimer skins this from afar. Cuckoo taking the brunt of the damage here. Looks like he's going to drop the first to fall for T1, but 23 Savage looks perfectly healthy for now. Pops his ult.
He still
gets one kill. Nico Baby, very low on mana, which means he is Very susceptible to die here, Cinder. 23 Savage.
Mati Nico Baby.
Going back in, a buyback. You see the mana drain coming from Whitemon as well. Nico Baby pops the wand, but to little avail. Zephyr does get off his ult, but the finger of death taking Nico Baby out in spades. No buyback for him. You see a nice freezing field come out, but it's going to result in the kill of Carl. In the meantime, beautiful impale on the two. S4 on the run. Trying to get back into this base. Is 23 Savage not scared of anything because that Aegis is still intact.
That was maybe a little bit too cute there from Savage, but he's obviously able to reset out of here. Guess how long would he have had on the Aegis? That was still a good 2 minutes left on that. That was maybe a little bit unnecessary, but
2 for 2 with the. I mean, that was a pretty long fight. It only 2 died for lines. So you gotta be happy with that. Although Nico Baby.
Bantai Garena gerakan support tadi. Astagfirullahaladzim.
If they could have got away with that, losing any other hero than Nico,
Bang, kok nggak sesuai judul apaan?
Probably a net win, but like this
Nih lagi nunggu. Lu troli dulu bego, nggak relax banget hidup lu.
A lot of those stacks now, 16 permanent agility on Savage. Surely you've got to pay good amounts of gold for this. Yeah, that's just another, like, add that to the pile of benefits that this hero has that we talked about, right?
Yeah, but there are a lot of Slark games that are not good, right?
Yeah.
Like, it does take a certain lineup for it to really shine.
Oh,
unlike some other carries.
He knows they don't see him. Shadow Dance is active.
Yeah. Has his shard, by the way, so has the Depth Shroud to be able to use on teammates or himself. Yeah. Basically like a free ult. S4 up. He's going to get pounced on. I think 23 Savage is just trying to get away. And he will be successful at that either way.
Out. They're just going to full reset. They don't have Carl. So we'll wait up. Carl's going to go top, start pushing that out. Obviously with that Ags can connect pretty quickly. Going to clean up that wave very fast with double Remnant.
Yeah, working on the refresher. Already has the Ags in his inventory. So we'll be zipping all over the place. The win probabilities actually changed slightly in Alliance's favor in the last couple minutes.
1% down.
Yep.
All right, just another 50 good team fights, and then we're there.
Well, I mean, they do have good team fights, to be fair, but the problem is really is Ember Spirit on the backline just killing supports.
This is definitely doable, and what it's going to come down to is ideally that T1 go on Nico Baby, and you get to play your other heroes effectively, right? One of the big differences in that fight, like you pointed out, was that there was actually a decent freezing field for once. And it makes a huge difference. That's what ended up killing Carl. He wasn't expecting that burst of damage coming in from the tree line, so if you do set it up here for Alliance, it could work. Okay, instantly breaking the smoke.
Yeah, Shadow Blading up. Got the ensnare coming out as well. BKB, there's
the
Bullshit. Already dead in this engagement. 2 dead for Alliance to start this fight out. Nico Baby getting mana drain for a little bit of time here. It's 23 Savage. Now just focusing on Nico Baby along with Cuckoo, getting the stuns out. We'll see how that status resist works from this time. But the mana drain from that defusal and the Essential stacks are just getting out of control for T1. They only lose their support Lion and get 4 kills as the trade. And T1 looking to go high ground. There is a buyback on Nico Baby, but will it matter? The building damage is now coming through.
Wah, anjing. Ini kalah di game ini di backstage dipukulin sama Nico Baby semua ini lang. Ini kalah di game di backstage tapi dipukulin sama Nico Baby anjing.
Pretty good. Very fast. See the halberd being used, but this will be a full set of mid racks in all likelihood for T1. S4 going to get 3 stacks to 23 Savage. And T1 gonna bide their time here, Cinderin. Like I said, these matches are just so important. You cannot give up leads like this. So likely to play quite disciplined, potentially even waiting for the second rush.
Yeah, it's not far away. The early respawn is in less than 2 minutes. So definitely is a possibility. I think T1 can just take this top tier 2 tower without too much worry. Carl is gonna go and take care of that.
No.
And Savage will also be farming up the ancient camp on the dire side, the whole triangle as a matter of fact. FNG, I feel like I've seen him make this play like 7 times this game. Go to that cliff, place sentry, use a Nova, a D-ward and go away. And he's died 2 or 3 times there. This time doesn't die, but unfortunately also doesn't find any ward. But whenever you find yourself D-warding that spot multiple times in a row in a game, you know what kind of game it is. Like that spot is about the most offensive ward you can possibly place as Radiant that is not inside the enemy base. Yeah, so pretty indicative of the game state for Alliance. They're just cornered.
Ini apa lawan apa? Ini T1 lawan Alliance.
Going for the Divine Rapier, Cinderin. Still about 3k away from finishing it.
You gotta do it, honestly. You have to take that risk. Savage gonna find Limp. Oh, the tower though.
And Limp has to Astral Step, uses both in fact, just to make sure he doesn't take another death to his name. And yeah, map control firmly in T1's favor right now as we likely wait for the next rush. So in 30 seconds we'll find out when that will actually spawn. FNG trying to get some map control back, but it feels like he's just died every time he's attempting this. Yeah. Poor lad.
And they know the word is there because of Shadow Dance. So get rid of that immediately. Nico Baby is exposed here. Alliance are trying to bait him. They really want this fight where they go on Nico. They feel like it's their only chance, and I agree with this 100%.
Smoke up as well. And gets popped.
Anjing, karena
23 Savage does take considerable damage, but again, FNG dies at the beginning of the fight. Carl, look at how much space he's creating. Just absolutely decimates Handscape.
GG anjing.
Whitemon jumps in with the finger of death. 3 dead for Alliance.
Dah GG.
And they are likely out of TI-10 after this fight. Medusa takes a tumble. Triple kill for Carl. And S4 finally goes down. He's the only remaining member for Alliance with buyback. They call GG. And
GG ketemu di backstage.
Alliance out.
Kan gituin, Blay.
One of those games where Eugene takes over. No, he only got 3 more after that, but they were meaningful kills, like you said, looking in those corners and getting people picked off. So overall, a solid look. Looks like, you know, we have this duo here of Secret and Texture really figuring out how to aggressive pushes out of B long over towards Fountain, and they just kind of come out on top in just about every metric here. I mean, a little bit more damage dealt there for the side of BME. Headshot percentage only separated by 0.4%, but
sejauh ini siapa yang kira-kira yang menang 2-1, Blay? Maksudnya menang 2-1?
13-4, very dominant performance here from the side of Kia. And I mean, do you think that this is just going to continue to be the narrative for the squad? Granted, a little bit less time, I guess, to prepare, short notice that they were going to be participating in this event, but do you think that will kind of just always happen to see DAMWON Kia have these very slow starts, Paper Thin?
I hope not. I mean, you can see that once they start to get rolling, the potential's there. And yeah, again, it is Bind. It is probably their best map by far. I think overall, they're pretty good on Split too, so that has to worry BME, but you know, it's just once Texture and Intro get heated up, everything just starts to fall into place because then Zhonghai and Eugene can do these lurks, can do these hidey positions that they've been doing and get away with it. And it's a lot harder for the enemy teams to deal with all of the different things that DAMWON Kia is doing to you. Like you could see Boom did it, I thought did a really good job catching Zhonghai's lurks off, but they weren't ready for the other parts of it. They just weren't winning their duels up front. Flip's jitter in particular was just awful. There's no other way to put it, and that is a huge problem.
Yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head right there. Just the key players of Boom Esports not turning up when they need to. I mean, you look at Flip's jitter.
Kenapa ya gue mual banget anjing bangun tidur. Sekarang loh.
Tournaments and other appearances, this was just not his game. I think he only got 3 kills or 4 kills at the very end of the game. Just not having that impact. I do also want to point out, and I don't want to be overly censorious over any players here, but like Eeyore had such a quiet game. I felt like there was just no impact from him at all. And, you know, this is one of those moments where you consider, yeah, we have a really good
anjing dibilang ada impact nggak tuh, Yor?
On our squad. Do we go ahead and put in Berserks? I mean, is it worth considering that option if you're their coach? Because right now, this is not a squad that is working hand in hand. They just look
akankah menang, guys?
Currently in disarray.
Well, sometimes, you know, we've seen it from teams throughout this run. DAMWON, of course, you know, it took them a whole series to do what I'm about to say, but sometimes you see these teams have to have a little bit of a warm-up game, so maybe that's going to be the case for Boom. Maybe now that they've gotten Bind out of the way, they know that they've gotten the prime map for comfort for DAMWON already settled. They can focus in, get ready to go into their map pick of Ascent, and then try to turn this series around. I mean, if they could do it, it would be just a monumental task that they would be pulling off. Coming back from a 13-4 loss, then taking them into a map 3, and then if they win it, they would eliminate DAMWON and keep their hopes alive for their region. So pressure's on, but sometimes that pressure can turn to motivation, and it can guide you forward. Has this shaken year resolved at all, Illustrato, or do you think that Boom can still take this series?
Yeah, I think they're looking very shaky right now. I mean, one of the things I needed to see was just their players, popping off on all cylinders, and that for that first game to be a lot closer. Because one indicator of how well Boom performs are on these maps like Bind and Ascent. Because first of all, they're not very convincing at those maps. Their win rate is just barely above 60%. When they start winning those maps, then sure, I'll say they look good. But if they get defeated like that in a very big stomp, 13-4 on a map that they're like okay on, then it spells trouble for the rest of the series.
Well, let me ask you a follow-up question then. On top of that, I mean, in the past, when Boom has been in positions like this, have they been able to rally and come back, or have they mostly kind of moved away throughout the rest?
Sponsornya Kia Motor.
The former, or honestly, it's just they never really find those victories that they. And even when they are ahead, a lot of the times it slips away from them. Going back to like Sea Challengers #2, they struggled against Alter Ego. They struggled against basically anyone they came across in the later stages of the tournament. And it feels like I don't know whether it's a tournament fear or the nervousness that washes over them. They just don't have that. I was hoping that with the new roster changes, that might be the spark that they needed, but it doesn't look like it.
Well, we've been shocked by teams throughout this tournament, so maybe it's time for them to go ahead, find that magic little bit of motivation to get them right back into the series and take it into a map 3. Paper Thin, going over to you. You talk about how this map pick of Ascent, not the best DAMWON Kia. What do you want to see from them? Any adjustments that you want to see from them to help them get that win close up 2-0?
I mean, I think some of the adjustments that DAMWON has made on Ascent coming into this. I mean, look, DAMWON's not bad on Ascent at all, but it's definitely not what they're known for sure. So, seeing Intro picking up those LMGs, whether it be an Ares or an Odin, depending on how well they're able to snowball some of those post-pistol rounds, it gets really devastating on that B side. So you got to be aware of that as Boom. You got to be ready to have some kind of utility, maybe a dash, a flash and dash, take that out of his hands. He's been devastating with it. You've got to be careful with your positioning on the other side of those wall bangs to make sure that you aren't getting caught in an early pick with that. So those are some things to look for here. It's a bit of change. DAMWON Kia coming into the close range stuff with Intro and his role switch over to the Sentinels. Probably going to be playing Killjoy. But again, DAMWON Kia isn't looking to do anything weird. They're not looking to get ultra aggressive. They're not looking to full send it up mid most of the time or anything like that. They're going to default around the map, but they're just going to try to outwork you, outsmart you, outshoot you, and that's what they did on Bind, to be frank. Texture was nuts.
Yeah.
All right, well, it seems like... Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I just wanted to make a real quick correction on what I said earlier on. It wasn't against Alter Ego in Stage 2 that they struggled. It was actually against Team NXL in Full Sense here. And both of these times, every single time that Boom Esports head to the lower bracket, and again, it reinforces the point, they cannot make it out of it. So, just right now, they're already...
Kalau Boom udah kalah 5-0, gua off stream ah.
Shows us something that they've never shown before in any of the stages if they want to make it out of this.
Okay, well,
Kalau apa, San?
We'll see if they're going to be able to do it. Like I said, this is...
Kalau Boom udah kalah 5-0 duluan gitu.
Iya, sama lah gue juga.
Ini juga off stream. Mending main anjing.
Do you have any major changes coming in? We'll see Intro going back over to the Cypher.
Nih lang, gue DM nih lang.
Lu suka nonton yang dia chatting kadang-kadang di Twitch, jarang. Gak ada Discord bang,
How are you feeling right now about this Cypher instead of Killjoy? As you take a glance at...
Guys, kalau ini 5-0, empty ya.
Main lang ya.
I'm not super thrilled about it, to be honest. I'd rather see the Killjoy. I think it's just if you're really on point with utilizing, playing off of your turret, if you're able to do it well, you can create a lot of space. I think the concern might have been is that Boom was going to get aggressive with flashes or something like that, and so you could use these tripwires in your cameras to play even further back than normal than what you typically do with a Killjoy, is my guess. And of course, yeah, the tripwires could shut down a Jet and slow things up, particularly in mid. They have to take a lot of time and a lot of care to make sure that they're not getting held up or identified by those when you're pushing through there, and you could give a lot of information over. But regardless, I personally like the Killjoy just a little bit.
Bisa nih.
But if they have a good read on what Flipshitter is going to be doing, where those dashes are going to be coming from, where those entries are going to be attempted, then it can be quite powerful, of course.
All right, well, we're moments away from being able to jump back into this game and see if DAMWON closes out 2-0 advance for to play against PaperX, or if we will have a third and final map split coming up. Let's go ahead and send it over to the casters yet again to keep going in map 2.
Abang gue dapat 1 komando, no? Oh iya.
DAMWON, 1 map away here from moving on further in this lower bracket and sending Boom Esports home. What a series we've already had, at least a game coming here, and the map number 1 coming from DAMWON, but Boom, they have to find some way to get their sums going because Ender, this is looking like a trip home for them.
Yeah, I mean, that map 1 is definitely not what you wanted to see for them, and I think that what the most suffocating thing is how DAMWON played the map, because DAMWON didn't really make a ton of mistakes, especially on their attacking side, you know, just going for these very slow defaults, waiting almost as they gain more and more information over the map, taking space forward in hookah and these sorts of things. And as we move over into Ascent, this is another map where teams often take it very, very slow.
Ayo Boom. Ayolah. Bantai itu 13-0.
Over on attack, Flipshitter, the player that was called out as having a very weak opening up on Bind. Now he has the jet, and he has to be all guns blazing from the start.
Totally. I mean, lots of expectations from him, especially being, you know, in that star role, and especially after the opening map that we did see from him, very quiet. But
live chat, menurut lu bisa nggak nih, Boom nih? Menang nih.
Live chat, menurut lu bisa nggak nih, Boom nih, live chat?
Seems like they're going for this 3-2 default to try and take some mid control to start the game off.
Recon apa tuh?
See DAMWON not really giving any early peeks
jet, guys.
like this over to the opposition, just a smoke at the bottom of mid. As Checkster continues to jump peek, take some information.
Buffering bangsat.
Secret has first contact here, and
bisa lah positive vibe lah.
He here catches the information of 2 players at the very least, and he wants to flash out of this and play pretty aggressively.
Mampus.
Anjing bete banget.
Double klik kanan mati anjing.
This dude has got excellent vision. Somehow getting that kill. Texture will get one at least for the side of DAMWON. But the plan has quickly and swiftly gone down here for the side of Boom Esports.
4 lawan 3 nih, 4 lawan 3 nih. Ayo.
And now the retake will have to come on in. For the most part, they're kind of situated here on this heaven position, trying to push out of the rafters. And little do they know, maybe under them, there are 2 players here from Boom on these hell positions. Now, intro on the
nice Bunny.
Actually find the opening pick as Texture.
Transfernya anjing.
But he will be taken down as well as Blaze securing the round. Boom. This is a very big contrast to what we saw on that opening round on Bind. They finally get something going here to take this round number 1.
Yeah, they convert off the early kill Asterisk was able to find on the Astra, and I mean, once that player tree falls, I mean, the site is just completely...
Ayo dong, SK jeder.
All that one, so Boom with a very convincing round 1. Hold by for them coming into the next. Was wondering if Flipshitter would try and wait, get his hands on an operator or something like this, because now that he's on the jet, this is a map where he could look to op as opposed to Asterisk, who's taking it.
Oh, Bani guys, comeback nih. Udah,
well, you get the early pick onto Secret over on Cat. Nothing too difficult about that one for Flips.
Flipshitter, opening pick from him, very nicely done. Okay, Secret. He's taking on down. That's a lot of the information gathering, potentially initiating power they could have had on this eco round taken away. Frostmine getting Eugene, both initiators down now for DAMWON, and this quite spread out here on this attacking side, at least for round number 2. And for the most part, they're winning all the pickups that they're getting. They do have that weapons advantage, and so seems to be the case here as ER finds
another. Bingung jadi observer yang mau lihat mana.
Slowly Boom play. It's kind of funny, right? You get like 2 kills on people checking up towards Cat, a player B main as well, but now they just want to group up together, not risk having any rifles fall into the hands of DAMWON. Just gotta worry about intro hanging out on the back of side. He actually gets a kill, so can't be too unhappy about that one, but I think moving forward into the next, DAMWON can have a much better option to fight on back. That being said, though, the pistol's doing a little bit of work here.
Okay, Texture. He's got that Sheriff. Can he find the pickoffs? I mean, it's a 1v3, man. Like, you're really expected to win this, and yeah, that's the outcome. Flipshitter takes the round, and now they finally got something going here, Boom, which we really couldn't have never said on Bind. Maybe that pistol round could have maybe worked out for him, as when we saw Asterisk get that 4K, you were thinking, okay, this could be a really close game for map number 1, but alas, it wasn't that way. So yeah, this right now, DAMWON, I don't think they're too worried as of now.
Bung Rek ada teori comeback ke PaperX tadi. Kagak Blay. Kagak nih.
In mid, knowing that Flipshooter has the Marshall, and that's probably your best bet, trying to fight back against the options what DAMWON have to play with here. They do have a tripwire.
Bisa nih.
Kontrol mid dulu ya.
13-0 nih Boom menang, 13-0 Boom menang.
Bottom bench for Boom, who takes some space in mid. They don't want to get shot from that angle as they walk a couple of players up in towards Cap. But this is something you see often when you do have that bonus buy coming through from an attacking team, is you kind of spread out and see if you can find an opening. One way, you can maybe play a little bit more aggressively, play a little bit more individualistic than you do on a rifle round. And, well, there's a drone up mid that just caught Eeyore playing that position. So DAMWON are going to have some idea of what's going on over on Catwalk.
Yeah, Flipshooter's Marshall has been given away as well. Eeyore, as stated, has been taken down now by Eugene, and this is looking good so far for the side of DAMWON. I mean, it is a bonus here now for Boom. Not really trying to invest too much into this round, trying to see what they can make with the cards, with the hand that they're dealt right now with. Now they're trying to take their talents towards the space side. Lots of defenders already here waiting. Texture in that smoke could potentially gimp him if they're not ready for his push. Intro on that back side, able to find one, a double for him. Eugene doing the same. And now a quick cleanup coming from DAMWON. Flawless from them. They barely took any damage. Only Intro was the only player from the side of DAMWON to even take a lick of damage in that round. So very clean from DAMWON.
Yeah, very nice.
Live chat, gue pindah ke ini ya. Buyah ya. Nih, linknya nih.
The differences between the compositions and in particular the Sentinels here.
Gue lanjut di Buyah, Blay. Sampai ntar main-main juga. Mungkin GE kita tontonin juga nih. Lanjut ya, lanjut di Buyah ya, Blay. Sini, Blay. Nonton 25 menit bisa dapat voucher pulsa, voucher grab, aqua. Lanjut di sana, Blay.
Berani banget.